What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
1WR. Chapter 1 Vice Captain of the 4th Division, come on. Advertise here. The first chapter, the Vice Captain of the 4th Division, join us. On a sea that no one knows about. The three ships collided with each other, and the pirates shouted and killed together. There are fragments of ship planks floating on the sea surface, and the broken corpses all tell the tragedy of this naval battle. Whitebeard Pirates 2nd Team Captain Ace and 4th Team Captain Sage stood with their backs to each other. Fire Punch. With the activation of the ability, Ace's fist turned into a flame, rushing forward in an instant. Nuo Da's pirate ship was directly penetrated, and seawater also flowed in along the hole. By the way, more than a dozen lives were also burned. These guys have some skills. No wonder you dare to sneak attack on the island where Daddy is sheltering. That's why the two are here. Ahead, the sinking pirate group, already decimated by Ace and Thatch, dared to blatantly plunder the island Whitebeard sheltered. I thought it was some great pirate rookie. Whitebeard even ruled out two teams to be on the safe side. Originally, Ace and Sachi still had some complaints, but it was just an unknown pirate group who didn't know the heights of the sky and the earth. The reality also proved Whitebeard's judgment. Even with the two captains of the Whitebeard Pirates, Ace and Sachi, they still cannot firmly suppress each other. It has been half a day since we met this pirate ship, and only then did we finally get into the other party's pirate ship. Who knows? Sage shrugged. The double knives in his hands are as fast as lightning. Under Armament Hockey's package, every cut takes a life or takes a person out of combat. Be careful, don't be attacked by surprise. Inside the pirate ship, a figure moved and directly helped a pirate block a sneak attack. Thank you, Vice Captain Lin An. The pirate showed admiration and respect in his eyes after seeing Lin An. Why are you being polite? A partner on a ship, I can still die. Lin An smiled slightly at him. With a flick of the machete in his hand, the enemy's weapon was thrown into the air, and with a stab forward, the attacker was killed. After killing him, Lin An looked around the entire battlefield. At this time, although the 2nd team and the 4th team have completely suppressed the pirate group, the opponent's resistance is still fierce. From time to time, you can still see your own people injured, or even die. Regarding this, Lin Fan shouted, his voice was amplified as much as possible. Although the battle is coming to an end, brothers should be more cautious. You don't want to lose your life when you have seen the victory, do you? Even if you don't lose your life, would you want to see less arms and less legs? I don't want to. Vice Captain, don't worry, we will get serious. The celebration banquet tonight cannot be without me, ha ha ha. I can tell. Lin An is a respectable person in the 4th Division, and even in the eyes of Ace's 2nd Division. Listening to everyone's responses, Lin An nodded seriously. The body kept shuttling back and forth on the pirate ship in battle. Occasionally, he will help the crew of the Whitebeard Pirates who are in trouble or being attacked. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a speed. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a battle experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. In Lin An's field of vision, there are light clusters that only he can see in the places where he fought or fought. The light clusters vary in size and color. These light clusters would be absorbed by him whenever he approached. This is not the ability of Devil Fruit, but the benefit of traversers. That's right, Lin An is not a local, but a traveler. This ability to select attributes is the cheat of Lin An, the traverser. This is also the reason why Lin An, as the vice captain, didn't concentrate on going to the opponent's strong One Piece team, but obed the entire battlefield. Be careful, if you encounter an opponent you can't beat, retreat first, don't hold on. Lin An made a move and helped a small and thin crew member of the 4th Division to deal with a tall opponent. A ball of red light was absorbed into his body by him. You picked up a point of strength. Close black lens bracket. Thank you, Vice Captain. Fine. Lin An shook his head. Be careful next time, if you want to show off your strength, you should first improve your own strength, you understand. Finished. Lin An went to the next destination again. It has been 3 years since I came to One Piece World. I vaguely remember that one afternoon when he first arrived in this world, he fell on a straw bale in a farmer's house. After more than a year of familiarization, I finally have a general understanding of my time-traveling benefits and the cheat of picking attributes. Whenever the people around Lin An use their abilities or specialties, a light ball related to it will condense and fall to the ground. This light ball is not always there, and it can last for about a minute. Lin An only needs to be within 1 meter of the light cluster, and the light cluster will be absorbed by Lin An. According to Lin An's own feelings, the attributes that can be picked up are divided into 3 categories. The first type, experience type, is similar to Kendo perception, combat experience, observation hockey, armament hockey, conqueror's hockey and other experience light balls. The color of this type of light ball is red. The second type, the ability type, is similar to the ability light spheres such as Devil Fruit or Hypnosis. The color of this type of light sphere is yellow. The third type, the basic type, is similar to light balls with basic attributes such as agility, strength, intelligence, can be understood as blue quantity, defense power, etc. The color of this type of light ball is yellow. After familiarization, Lin An began to collect everywhere on the island, but there are not too strong people on the island, and they are usually farmers who do things and have no attributes to pick up. At this time, Sage came to Lin An's place purchasing supplies on the island. As the world's #1 pirate group, the Whitebeard Pirate group must be able to pick up a lot of attributes, so they took the initiative to approach Sage and boarded Sage's ship. Because of the existence of cheat, Lin An has been considered to have some strength for more than a year, and even Sage exclaimed that Lin An's talent is too heaven-defying. In order to pick up attributes, Lin An often wandered back and forth on the battlefield, and took action to protect the weak in order to hide the eyes and ears. Because of this, he gained a great reputation in the 4th Division, and even spread it to the ears of Whitebeard and greatly praised Lin An. Praise, it can be said that the Whitebeard Pirates, even within the sphere of influence that Whitebeard sheltered, made a big show of face. It is precisely because of this that Lin An successfully became the vice-captain of the 4th team less than a year after joining Sachi's 4th team. While picking up the light ball, Lin An looked around and saw that there were not many people on the other side who could resist, so he spoke again. Brothers, we will see the dawn of victory soon, everyone, come on. Chapter 2 Dark Fruit appears. Chapter 2 Dark Fruit is here. After the fight, Ace saw who the captain was from the opponent's captain's room. The other party was a well-known pirate with a bounty of 350 million. The pirates on the pirate ship are also as high as 500 people. More people than the Ace and Thatch ships combined. No wonder it is said that it will be so difficult. Ace looked helpless. At this time, I was glad that I was not reckless and followed Whitebeard's arrangement. Sometimes you are just too confident. There are still many strong people in this world. Thatch looked at Ace with a small smile on his face. I've heard of an admiral-level folk expert appearing on a certain island before, let alone a pirate ship that can come to New World. Ace nodded approvingly, but looking at his expression, he didn't listen too much to Saki's words. Lin An, who was directing other people to carry the belongings on the ship outside the captain's cabin, was a little melancholy. It's over too soon. I have been in One Piece world for 3 years. It has been more than a year since I joined the Whitebeard Pirates. By picking attributes, Lin An has touched the edge of the Emperor's deputy. Observation Haki, Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki can also be used proficiently. I thought that this naval battle would break through to the level of the Emperor's deputy, but I didn't expect it to be a close call in the end. What ended too soon? The passing pirate looked at Lin An suspiciously. Of course it was a fight. Lin An didn't hide his thoughts. But, of course he wouldn't say that this would make him not have enough time to pick attributes, and that his own strength hadn't broken through to the level of the Emperor's deputy. The strength of the brothers has grown too fast. Hearing Lin An's words, the pirate smiled shyly. It's all thanks to the vice-captain's daily training. Naval battles like this are actually rare to see. Although New World said that the tentacles of the world government are not extended much, but there are also 4 emperors sitting in town. Although the 4 emperors have strengths and weaknesses, the difference in strength is not a big difference. If they really want to fight, the most likely result is that both sides will suffer, so everyone will try to avoid each other as much as possible. This also led to a very evil thing. Although it is said that the ruler of New World is a pirate. But because the 4 emperors restrained each other, no one dared to go too far, so it seemed very peaceful and peaceful. In this case, in order to be able to select attributes, Lin An began to train the pirates as the vice-captain of the 4th Division. You're good at flattering, Lin Fan responded, looking behind him. Is there no one behind? The pirate nodded. Well, we have emptied all the treasures of this ship, and the one in my hand is the last box. Good. Lin An agreed, followed behind him and returned to Sachi's boat. The upper floors of the ship at this time, including Ace, Sage, the vice-captain of the 2nd team and other managers of the 2nd team and the 4th team got together. Baituan has an unwritten rule, when searching for supplies, whoever gets them first gets it. Huh, devil fruit. Hearing Saki's voice, everyone looked in Saki's direction. After confirming that Saki was not joking, envious expressions appeared in everyone's eyes. What kind of fruit is this? I don't know, do you all know? The appearance of this devil fruit is somewhat unique. What is not unique about devil fruit's appearance? A group of people looked at devil fruit dumbfounded. They have never seen the devil fruit illustrated book, so they can't tell the difference at all. You speak, I speak, although the discussion is lively, but there is no substantive progress, let alone the result. Lin An, thank you for your hard work. Seeing Lin An coming back, Sachi hurriedly greeted Lin An to come here. Do you know what devil fruit this is? Hearing Sage's words, Lin An approached curiously. After observing this devil fruit, he hesitated and shook his head. It was because of the fame of One Piece that he ran to chase it curiously. Although it is because of the exciting plot and the passion of the characters that he is excited to watch it, but the number of episodes of One Piece is really too much. Lin An only watched about 200 episodes when he traveled, let alone the latest episode. Didn't even finish half of it. Although Devil Fruit is said to be one of the most representative abilities in One Piece, there are really not too many appearances, let alone this fruit that paves the way for the climax of the first stage of the entire One Piece. I don't know. Lin An replied bluntly, and then said, whatever it is Devil Fruit, ask if anyone on the boat wants it, and if you want it, give it to him. If no one wants it, just sell it for money. Is it? Sack nodded. I think so too. But you also know that the value of Devil Fruit fluctuates greatly. If we can determine what this Devil Fruit is, we may earn more money. At the same time, Blackbeard, who was flirting with other pirates, glanced at the discussion here. He had seen the Devil Fruit illustrated book, and if he could help, Blackbeard would not refuse. This glance made him fall into it deeply. It is somewhat similar to auspicious clouds, and it seems to be the same pattern as Guyu. Isn't that black-purple peel the dark fruit he's been dreaming about? 20 years, 20 years. Blackbeard's breathing became more serious, and his eyes were full of greed and heat. The world is so big that a person may not be able to leave the island where he was born in his whole life. Also, the world is small. There is only one Devil Fruit small enough to make Blackbeard fall in love. It was for this dark fruit that Blackbeard joined the Whitebeard Pirates, because after Roger's death, Whitebeard was the strongest in the sea, known as the Uncrowned One Piece. Staying on the Whitebeard Pirates ship has the greatest probability of getting dark fruit, or information about dark fruit. Originally, more than 2 decades have passed, and even Blackbeard himself doesn't think he can wait until dark fruit appears. Did not expect to appear today. Happy, crazy. He wanted to go forward and snatch it directly, but he suppressed this crazy idea in his heart. Whether it's Ace or Sachi, they are not much weaker than their current self. What's more, there are more than 200 people in the second and fourth teams. Blackbeard barely suppressed the thought of snatching in his heart, and there was a hint of madness and murderous intent in his eyes. Dark fruit, dark fruit, dark fruit. At this point Blackbeard even felt a little perverted inside. The Saki in his eyes is no longer his friend for more than 20 years, but a stumbling block blocking his way forward. Kill him and bring back the dark fruit, that belongs to me. Chapter 3 Taking the Fruit, Blackbeard's Defection. Chapter 3 Take the Fruit, Blackbeard's Defection. After the victory, of course, there is a carnival. After the party, everyone on the ship went to rest except for the night watchman. At night, there is only one bright moon in the sky. Sachi held the dark fruit, his eyes full of curiosity. Many of the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates are devil fruit capable. It is said that this food is very unpalatable, comparable to. Is it true? Saki lifted the devil fruit up, and under the moonlight, it made the devil fruit even more mysterious. For a while, Sachi wanted to eat it to see if the devil fruit was as bad as the rumors said. Sage. Just at this time, a voice sounded from behind Sage. Sage turned his head to look. There was a look of understanding on his face. Teach, come and take a look, this is the devil fruit we got today. Sachi and Teach are both old men of the Whitebeard Pirates, and the two have a close relationship on weekdays, and they can be regarded as old friends. Although Blackbeard did not become the captain and vice captain, he is also famous for scratching Shanks, one of the 4 emperors. Blackbeard walked slowly to Sarge, holding the dark fruit in his hand. This devil fruit, I actually know what it is, devil fruit. Oh, there was curiosity on Sachi's face, and then a daze. By the way, you told me before that you have read the devil fruit illustrated book. I was busy during the day and forgot. Saying that, Sax leaned over to Blackbeard's side, and put the devil fruit in his hand in front of Blackbeard, with a look of curiosity on his face. Come on, tell me, what kind of fruit is this devil fruit, and what ability does it have? If it is said that the ability is better, we will not sell it and feed it to our family. This devil fruit is called dark fruit. Blackbeard looked at Sage in front of him with a hearty smile. If this fruit, as he spoke, a monstrous murderous aura suddenly burst out in his eyes. Seeing Sax take out his right hand that was hidden in the dark because of curiosity. On the boat, and on the sea where there is no danger at all, Blackbeard's hand is equipped with a claw. Wow. The paw snapped. No matter how fast Sack reacted, it was impossible to avoid the almost face-to-face distance. What's more, Thatch's mind is entirely on the dark fruit that Blackbeard tells about. Without realizing it at this time, Sage was directly scratched by Blackbeard. The right arm even fell off the body directly. Teach, what are you doing? Sage stepped back quickly. However, the room is so big in total. Where can he escape to? Eyes aimed at the direction of his own 2 knives. Pity. Teach was obviously on guard, there was no way he could have gotten his weapon. What are you doing? What else can I do as a pirate? Of course it's a robbery. The murderous look and tyranny in Teach's eyes made no secret. The right hand waved again. One paw pierced Saki's stomach. Ah, a cry of pain rang out. Thatch looked at Blackbeard in disbelief. If you say you want this devil fruit, why don't you just tell me no? The relationship between you and me, what you want, can I not give you? This is no ordinary devil fruit. Until one of his arms was cut off and his stomach was disemboweled, Saki still didn't mean to blame him. And Blackbeard ignored Sage's sincerity. The claw of the right hand was pulled out from Sage's stomach. What happened here? The first one to arrive was Lin An, who lived closest to Saki because of his position. Lin An's speed is already very fast. He rushed over after hearing the movement coming from Sak's room. However, even so, it was still a step too late. At this time, Saki was already lying in a pool of blood, his right arm fell to the side, and there was also a serious wound on his chest, and the blood flowed outward as if he didn't want money. Vaguely, a figure appeared in sight. Blackbeard teach by Team 2. Sage. It is not known whether it was due to excessive blood loss or some other reason, but Sachi had completely lost consciousness, and no matter how Lin An yelled, he could not wake up. Sage, what's wrong with you? There was a look of panic in Lin An's eyes, and he hurriedly checked. Fortunately, although Saki was seriously injured, he did not die. Ship doctor. To this end, Lin An ran out quickly, dragged the sleeping doctor into Saki's room and began to do emergency treatment for Saki. Soon, Lin An's movement has alarmed everyone in the boat. Ace, as well as the crew of the second and fourth teams came one after another. Lin An, what the hell is going on here? Ace looked at Sage who had been bandaged by the ship's doctor. Although he said that his life was not in danger, he only had his last breath left. His whole body was burning with anger. I'm not too sure about the specifics. As an experiencer of the incident, Lin An naturally had to speak out. I came here after hearing Sak screaming in the middle of the night, and vaguely saw the figure of your second team, Blackbeard teach. Lin An briefly talked about seeing Sachi lying in a pool of blood and calling the ship's doctor. You know the next thing, that's all I know. I see. Ace nodded. Eyes shifted to the direction in which Blackbeard was fleeing. Teach. Running after killing your companions is a mistake that cannot be tolerated anywhere. Chase. Be sure to kill him. Listen to Ace. Immediately there are sailors to set sail. Wait a moment. At this time, Lin An stopped them. I also know that Blackbeard has to be killed. However, now is not the time. Talking. Lin An pointed to Saki. Worry was written all over his face. Although Sage said that the strength is not the strongest group of people in the Whitebeard Pirates. But character is definitely the best. Lin An also received a lot of care from him during the more than a year on the ship. Captain Sachi's life and death are unknown now. Our ship doctor can only guarantee that Captain Sachi will not die for a while. The most important thing now is to go back to the Moby Dick and let Dad's ship doctor come and treat Captain Sage. Hearing Lin An's words, Ace was still a little stubborn. That's right. You rush back with the boat of the 4th Division, and I will take the 2nd Division to pursue. No way. Regarding Ace's words, Lin An refuted again. This is New World. I'm the vice captain, and there are still wounded on board. How can I guarantee that I won't be robbed? Ace, I know you're angry, but the more we go through this time, the more we need to be calm, right? Chapter 4 Whitebeard alarmed, wanted Teach. Chapter 4 Whitebeard alarmed, wanted Teach. So, Teach beat Sak like that for a devil fruit. On the Moby Dick, Whitebeard is not angry. The 16 team captains below, including Margao, Ace, and Joes, were all present except for Saki, who was undergoing surgery. Damn, Teach, this bastard, must be severely punished. The sea is full of dangers, and changes in the natural environment alone are enough to kill people, not to mention pirates, marines and other emergencies. It can be said that after going to sea, the brothers on a ship are the family members who have given their lives to each other. The most unacceptable and unforgivable thing is betrayal. This is also the belief that the Whitebeard Pirates have always adhered to. What's more, Blackbeard is not only trying to snatch the devil fruit this time, but even wants to kill people. Bastard. How can such a person have the face to live in this world by attacking his friend for decades behind his back? Father, Teach is a bastard who dares to break the rules. He must be caught and killed as an example to others. I didn't expect, there is such a white-eyed wolf among the Whitebeard Pirates. It stands to reason that Teach has been on the ship for more than 20 years, so what is devil fruit? He even betrayed his brothers who have been with him for more than 20 years to get it. It doesn't matter what the devil fruit is. Everyone knows Sak's character. He is the most kind person and almost responsive to others. Teach is still his friend. As long as he asks, he will definitely give the devil fruit directly to Teach. Damn it, why did Sax have to walk through the gate of hell because of this kind of person? Enough. Listening to the discussion of the people below, Whitebeard spoke again. The moment Whitebeard spoke, the field fell silent. All eyes were on Whitebeard. Dare to attack your companions, such a person cannot be kept, and he is absolutely not allowed to live in this world. Whitebeard made his position clear when he opened his mouth. Ace. Father, Teach is from my second team, it's best for me to catch him back. Margao. This matter is that Teach violated the rules of our Whitebeard Pirates, so don't be brave, Ace. Joes. Margao is right, this is a matter for all the Whitebeard Pirates. Listen to the voices of the people below. Whitebeard stood up slowly. With a height of nearly 7 meters, against the backdrop of the sun, he looked like a god. Margao and Joes are right. As soon as he spoke, Whitebeard made his position known. This matter concerns the entire Whitebeard Pirates. Ace, don't think about solving this matter on your own. Now pass on my order. The entire Whitebeard Pirates will add an order starting today to search Blackbeard Teach wherever they go. Blackbeard Teach will be the enemy of the entire Whitebeard Pirates from now on, and he will be killed on this sea at all costs. ... The entrance to the infirmary of the Moby Dick. The 3 words, in operation, made Ace a little annoyed. Why, I thought it was a good thing, but I didn't expect it to be a bad thing. Ace was going to say that Thatch also got the devil fruit. However, during the investigation, it was discovered that all of Sachi's finances had not disappeared, and the only thing missing was the devil fruit. Based on the fact that Blackbeard has read the Devil Fruit illustrated book, it is not difficult to guess that Blackbeard knows exactly what the Devil Fruit is, so he finally chooses to attack his companions, even his old friends of more than 20 years. This Devil Fruit is not something to make people happy, on the contrary, this is the culprit that caused it all. For this reason, Ace swallowed the words that came to his lips abruptly. How is Sage doing now? At this time, a nurse came out of it. Ace stepped forward with a concerned look on his face. The doctor told me a few minutes ago that Captain Sachi's life should be saved. However, after all, it is still in the operation, so it is hard to say what the specific situation is. Captain Ace, I know you care about your companions, but I can't remember this matter. I'll go to work first. Oh. Ace nodded, and quickly dodged to let the nurse leave first. At this moment, Ace has never felt so guilty before. Ace blamed himself for not taking good care of his men. If only he had sensed what Blackbeard was thinking earlier, or gone to Thatch's room with him that night. Blackbeard has no chance at all. Pain, torment, especially when faced with the words, under operation, he seemed to be a little bit broken. For a while, because the mood is turbulent, Ace can't even control his own fruit power. Flames gradually burned around him. Fine, even without Ace's control, these flames didn't mean to burn to the hull. Squeak. At this time, the lights in the operating room went out, and the door of the operating room opened from the inside. Doctors and nurses came out of it. Doctor, how is Sack? Seeing the doctor come out of the operating room, Ace immediately surrounded him. Rest assured, Captain Sachi is out of danger, and I even put his arm back on. Although the flexibility will be impaired in the future, it's better than really missing an arm, right? Thank you, doctor. Ace directly expressed his gratitude to the doctor. Originally, Ace's biggest expectation for this operation was that Sachi would survive. Doctors don't just do that. He even put back Sack's arm. As for arm flexibility, that doesn't matter at all. Okay. It's okay. This is what I should do. The doctor shook his head. Are you planning to stay here forever? I'm planning to go in and see Sage after he wakes up, can't I? Ace's face was worried. No. The doctor refused very decisively. It's not that Sachi's current situation is too dangerous to be disturbed at all. The main reason is that the character of this group of pirates tends to be reckless. Once he opens this hole, it won't be easy to manage in the future. What if the Whitebeard Pirates lost their elite because someone broke in and brought in germs and the like? Then he was afraid that Whitebeard would directly smash his head into pieces. It will take at least a month for Captain Sachi to visit. He needs to recover and rest now. To this, Ace, a layman, naturally had no choice but to nod in agreement. After watching the doctors and nurses leave, after learning about Sachi's status, Ace said slowly, Teach, that bastard should really be captured by me. Chapter 5 Whitebeard is upset. Chapter 5 Whitebeard is upset. The Whitebeard Pirates can't cover up such a big thing if they want to cover it up. Simply, Whitebeard didn't do anything to hide it, and just let the whole incident ferment. Without Whitebeard's suppression, this incident spread quickly throughout the world like a virus. Marineford, Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, Akainu, Aokiji, and some elite vice admirals were there. Sengoku looked at the people below, and there was a hint of thought in his eyes. I think everyone has heard about the betrayal of Teach, the second division of the Whitebeard Pirates, right? Of course I heard. Akainu had a sneer on his face. After all, he is just the gatekeeper of the previous era. So what if he is called the strongest man at sea? Isn't it still unable to guard the pirates because of old age and weakness? Although I don't know the specific situation yet, I heard that Teach killed and defected from the Whitebeard Pirates for a devil fruit. Compared to Akainu's taunt, Aokiji was calmer. Teach can be regarded as a well-known pirate, after all, he is a strong man who once hurt Shanks. It is absolutely extraordinary that this kind of person can do such a thing at the risk of angering Whitebeard and being hunted down by the entire Whitebeard pirate group. Compared to the 3 people who spoke, Garp and Kizaru are much more relaxed. One hides and eats crackers, not intending to participate. The other one didn't know what he was thinking, and completely ignored the idea of this meeting. New World, Wangguo, the headquarters of Big Mom Pirates. Aunt Sherlock Linlin had an excited expression on her face after swallowing the cake that was as tall as a person in one gulp. Has anything like that happened to that old Whitebeard? The aunt's eyes were full of sarcasm. I told him at the beginning that only blood is the bond of everything. If you don't listen to me, it's all right now. He was betrayed, and the most intimate Captain Fan was also seriously injured. New World, Wanokuni, Beasts Pirates headquarters. Kaido picked up a bottle of wine and put it down gently. The drunkenness in his eyes gradually disappeared. Is everything true? The tall Jack knelt in front of Kaido and nodded repeatedly. It has been confirmed several times, and even our people have contacted the pirates under Whitebeard. This matter is absolutely true. Good. Kaido stood up slowly. He who didn't feel drunk at this time looked extremely terrifying. The aura surrounding him was even more terrifying than that of Whitebeard. This old man finally sees some signs of decay. Finished. Kaido picked up the flagon beside him again and opened it. Such a happy thing, when a swig. New World, at sea, aboard the Red Fourth. Shanks looked thoughtfully in the direction of the sea. Unconsciously, he put his hand near his scarred left eye. Unlike everyone else who has focused on Whitebeard's decline, Shanks' focus is on Blackbeard Teach. Has that Teach guy finally revealed his true heart? He muttered silently. Shanks shifted his gaze to Ben Beckman on the side. Beckman, find a way to find out what kind of devil fruit the Teach guy stole. Listening to Shanks' words, Beckman frowned slightly. Are you so fancy about this guy? Faced with his companion's doubts, Shanks nodded directly without concealment. This guy always gives me a chill. I've always wondered why someone like him would be subservient, even Whitebeard, and it's definitely not a reason for him to submit. Now it seems that the reason is too clear. This guy's goal is this devil fruit. On the Grand Line, an uninhabited island near the Saadi archipelago, Teach was surrounded by black mist. In order to avoid the capture of the Whitebeard pirates, Blackbeard left New World day and night. Although Four Emperors is said to be the king of the entire pirate world. But the place with the strongest influence is only New World, and the Grand Line and Four Seas are still under the jurisdiction of Marine. Marvelous. Dark fruit. Logia devil fruit. As Logia's devil fruit, it has a disadvantage, that is, it cannot be elementalized. No, that's not accurate. It's not that it can't be elementalized, but that even if it is elementalized, the body will still stay in place, and after turning on dark fruit, the side effects of dark fruit will double the pain. Such a big side effect is its almost invincible power. The powerful attraction like a black hole allows the fruit user to have the ability to absorb all objects to be removed, and even the power to absorb other people's fruits. Dark water. Blackbeard flicked his hand. A pool of black liquid like dark energy aggregates was directly thrown out by him. The black liquid fell on an apple tree and instantly swallowed it, and was directly transferred to other time and space. It seems that I have initially mastered the ability of dark fruit. Blackbeard looked at his hands and nodded silently. He is very familiar with dark fruit himself, and after a period of running in, he has initially mastered the ability of dark fruit. Although it is far away from New World now, it is not safe enough. Blackbeard, who had initially mastered the power of dark fruit, looked in the direction of Red Line. Although there is this behemoth blocking each other. But the thought of Whitebeard's face made him shudder. The second half of the Grand Line is still a bit dangerous, let's go to the first half of the Grand Line first. By the way, you can also find some partners. After all, my target is One Piece. Moby Dick aboard. Whitebeard summoned the captains of the 16 squads. The fourth team was represented by Lin An because Sachi was seriously injured and still in the intensive care unit. Ace went after Blackbeard himself, but he wasn't there. Whitebeard looked at the 15 people below. This is the mainstay of the Whitebeard Pirates, plus Ace and Sage. These are also the 18 people he trusts most in this world. Today, there are two things to announce when everyone is called here. Hearing what Whitebeard said, everyone cheered up. Captain Fan's meeting has not been held once a year in the past, and it has been started twice in less than a week, which is enough to show that Whitebeard's mind is no longer peaceful. The first thing is to temporarily let Lin An act as the captain of the fourth team. Listening to Whitebeard's words, a total of 16 people including Lin An glanced at each other and nodded. I agree. Chapter 6 got shock fruit. Chapter 6 picked up shock fruit. It was Joe's who spoke first. He is very clear about Lin An's position in the fourth team, and now he is not re-electing the captain of the fourth team, but naturally looking for someone who can convince the crowd in the fourth team. I agree. Margot nodded too. Although Lin An's time on board is short, she is the most diligent. The strength will not be too bad, and it is because of the long-term training of the pirates that they have great popularity in the entire Whitebeard pirate group. Not to mention being an acting captain. Even if Whitebeard opened up the 17th squad just for Lin An, Margot would agree. I agree. No problem. Quickly. The other team leaders also expressed their views one after another. Lin An is kind. Perfect for the Whitebeard Pirates vibe. It is not uncommon to be able to get a unanimous vote. Very good. Whitebeard nodded. Then from today onwards, Lin An will act as the captain of the fourth squad to take care of internal affairs and crew training in the fourth squad. Speaking of which, Whitebeard changed the subject. With a trace of melancholy on his face. The next thing is the second thing, and it's something I've been thinking about recently. Hear Whitebeard say that. 16 people including Lin An looked at Whitebeard curiously. It was the first time they had seen Whitebeard hesitate. Then, from today onwards, all the staff will start to train urgently, and the captains will fight each other and meet to improve their own strength. It was something that had been on Whitebeard's mind since what happened with Blackbeard. He is very aware of his physical condition. If it is not strong enough, I am afraid that it has already gone to another world. Even now, it is not inconceivable when he will die. He could leave as soon as he said, but the question is, what about the people below? What should we do with 1,600 people in 16 squads, and the tens of thousands of 43 affiliated pirate groups that follow him? Now that he is still alive, others dare not be too presumptuous. But what if he's gone? I'm afraid it's impossible to live a stable life in New World. Once you fall down, the foundation of the entire Whitebeard pirate group in New World is likely to collapse directly. Margot, Joe's. Whitebeard set his sights on the two strongest men on board the Whitebeard Pirates today. Of these two people, one is agile and the other is invincible in defense. They are all able to stand alone, and their own strength has reached a relatively high level among the Emperor's assistants. Improving the strength of the two of them first is obviously the most appropriate move. You two, go up together. As for the others, step aside first. Is this going to train us directly? Marco and Joes looked at each other and nodded to each other. Such things are not uncommon. In order to improve the strength of the crew, Whitebeard has done this many times, and sometimes not only the captain, but also ordinary crew members will be personally guided by Whitebeard. Lin An is one of them. This is why the Whitebeard pirates are so powerful. Good. Father, here we come. Margot and Josie quickly moved away. Margot directly turned into a phoenix, and leapt into the sky. Joes turned into diamonds all over. The whole person rushed to Whitebeard like a bull. See this situation. Lin An's eyes lit up. He himself was only a little short of being able to break through to the strength of the Emperor's deputy. Now that the captains are playing against each other, Whitebeard has to personally guide Margot and Joes. This is not only a good opportunity to break through the strength of the Emperor's deputy, but even if they play for a longer time, it is not completely wishful thinking for Lin An to reach the Admiral level. Think here. Lin An leaned closer. Cooperated well. Whitebeard moved quickly, dodging Margot's attack at first. The energy of shock fruit began to brew in his hand. Blast out with a punch. Directly beat Chaozi upside down and fly out. However, it's still too naive. Do you think I won't kill you? How dare you be so negligent? I personally guide you to make you stronger, not to play house with you, understand? Listen to Whitebeard's slightly angry voice. Margot and Joes, the two Emperor deputy level existences, were like two children, nodding in fright. Father, we were wrong. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a battle experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a copy of Armament Hockey's Insights. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. It was only a close call, but at this moment, it was a fight between a strong man at the four Emperors level and a strong man at the Emperor's deputy level. Lin An, a fringe obe, quickly broke through to the level of the Emperor's deputy. Reaching the rank of Deputy Emperor, Lin An felt the changes in his body, and his whole body felt refreshed. Good. Is that right? Since the fight has already started, no matter who you are facing, you must imagine killing the other party, understand? The battle between Whitebeard, Margot, and Joes continued. After being reprimanded by Whitebeard, Marco and Josie were clearly serious. Even Whitebeard. At this time, under the joint attack of the two Emperor's lieutenants, they couldn't be as casual as before. In this way, Whitebeard also gradually became serious. Phoenix Seal. In the sky, Margot seized the gap between Whitebeard's attacks, and his legs were burning with blue flames to launch a surprise attack in an instant. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Well done. Whitebeard saw this. The ability of shock fruit is once again condensed on the fists. A pair of eyes filled with joy. It was the desire to fight. However, it's not enough. During the conversation, shock fruit's energy converged on Whitebeard's fists. A beautiful uppercut hit directly shattered Margot's body. You picked up a copy of Observation Hockey and felt a copy. Close black lens bracket. Margot. Seeing this, Joes hurried forward. He was naturally not worried that Margot's life would be in danger. With the Phoenix Fruit, unless he is trapped by the Seastone's ability, otherwise, even if he is hit by Armament Hockey, he will not suffer much damage. The whole body instantly began to completely turn into diamonds. Shine, crash. Following Chaozi's body, he came crashing like a bull. A smile spread across Whitebeard's face. Ignoring Margot, who has turned into sparks for the time being, the shock fruit energy on his hands was compressed by him again. Suddenly, he punched forward. Boom. Accompanied by a muffled sound. Diamond Josie was overturned directly, and Whitebeard also chased after him. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of shock fruit. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 7 The Strength is Soaring, the Powerful Whitebeard. Advertise here. Chapter 7 The Strength is Soaring, the Mighty Whitebeard. Quote. Damn, can I still pick up the whole devil fruit? Hear the system beep. Lin An stopped right where he was. The whole person was stunned, and even swear words were spoken directly without realizing it. 3 years, he has been in this world for more than 3 years. He seems to be insulated from the power of the most recognizable devil fruit in the world of One Piece. Let alone the complete devil fruit, he has never picked up even a part of the devil fruit or the use of it. The most picked up is the third category of basic attributes, such as strength, defense, and agility. Even if it is combat experience, Haki's experience is rarely found. At this time, he picked up the whole devil fruit directly. Lin An looked at his hands in disbelief. According to the dictation of the brothers who own devil fruit in the Whitebeard Pirates. With a thought, on the right hand, scenes like broken glass appeared. At the same time, a huge pain came to my heart instantly. This is shock fruit. It's a method that can even destroy the world. But its side effects are also extremely powerful. If you want to shatter something to a certain extent, you have to bear the corresponding shock, and when it is reflected on the body, it is a monstrous pain. The reason why Whitebeard has so many hidden diseases has a lot to do with the side effects of shock fruit. Definitely. Lin An clicked her tongue. My heart is also ecstatic. He knows that his system can pick up devil fruit. But the conditions are extremely harsh. First of all, demon fruit power should be fully used with fruit ability, and other auxiliary abilities like Haki must not be used. Secondly, the ability users of devil fruit should not have any distractions, and must devote themselves to the battle. Finally, and the most critical point, demon fruit power must be awakened to its own devil fruit, and does not care about the ability of devil fruit. The first two of these three conditions can find out a lot. Only the last one can be said to be the condition of the devil level. The ability users of devil fruit are already a minority in this world. People who have reached the level of awakening are even rarer in this world. Such an existence, the person who has developed devil fruit to the degree of awakening still wants him not to care about devil fruit. How can this be? Think here. Lin An looked in Whitebeard's direction. The feeling of admiration in my heart is even heavier. Perhaps, only this kind of existence standing on the top of the world can be so thin. This Whitebeard's conqueror's Haki is probably as good as Garp's. That's why he can ignore shock fruit. I thought that this function of the system would never be used at all, but I didn't expect it to be used now. Besides, my first devil fruit turned out to be a shock fruit. It's really an impermanent world. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. At this time, the battle between Whitebeard and Margot, Joe's continues. Whitebeard has come to his twilight though. It is not even impossible to think about when to die. But even so, only relying on Marco and Joe's, there is still no way to suppress Whitebeard. Junjun, the sky is falling. The roar sounded. Whitebeard jumped up high. On the right fist, cracks appeared that seemed to tear the sky apart. The tearing sensation that accompanies the shock fruit ability appears. Those cracks are expanding endlessly. Join hands and block him. Margot and Joe's looked at each other and nodded. This punch was obviously Whitebeard's plan to test their head-to-head strength. Although it is possible to dodge, and dodging is also the most suitable solution at this time. However, it is really not reconciled to let them escape like this. And, if you can't stop it, then they can also get Whitebeard's approval. That's the most important thing. Come on Dad, I'm ready. The blue flames around Margot shot up into the sky in an instant. Crane Claw. Not just fruit abilities. Margot also used armament Haki, and it was an extremely skilled armament Haki. Under Margaret's control, the whole legs are wrapped under the black and purple armament Haki. You have picked up an armament Haki sentiment. Close black lens bracket. Diamond Chaozi on the other side is also not to be outdone. While the whole body has turned into diamonds, it is once again stained with a layer of black. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. This is clearly armament Haki full coverage. Father, we're not who we used to be. Diamond Joe's looked at Whitebeard. Disappointment was written all over his face. Shining right fist. Good. Whitebeard looked at the excited expressions on the faces of Margot and Joe's, who were already full power. It was him who had driven these two to such an extent. But he doesn't care. Just now, even if I didn't even use Haki, I was able to push Margot and Josie into a desperate situation just by relying on the fruit ability. Now he is still able to push Margot and Josie into a desperate situation with only his fruit ability. War. Accompanied by Whitebeard's roar sounded. Whitebeard's fist has been punched. Margot's foot collided with Josie's fist as Whitebeard's fist collided. The three parties immediately stalemate together. However, just when everyone thought it should be a draw. After all, Whitebeard didn't use Haki, and Margot and Josie were also strong at the Emperor's deputy level. The possibility of a draw is not entirely unimaginable. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. In the blink of an eye, the ending changed drastically. Bang. There was a sound as if something had exploded. The diamondized outer layer of Diamond Jaws's body shattered directly. Armor color also gradually faded. The whole person quickly backed up and hit the hull behind him before barely stopping. I told you all, you are not qualified now. Whitebeard's voice sounded again. The huge fist smashed Margot's leg directly, followed by the waist, upper body, and finally the head. This punch down Diamond Josie's ability to be beaten is slack. Margot once again became the flame of the phoenix. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a copy of Armament Hockey's Insights. Close black lens bracket. Sure enough, it's still not as good as Dad. Not long. Margot was back to normal again. There was a helpless expression on the whole face. Joe's, who flew out, also came back depressed at this time. Even Daddy's hockey didn't come out, it's a bit embarrassing. Chapter V Training the Crew. Advertise here. Chapter 8 Training the Crew. Neither Margot nor Josie is weak. Even counting the powerhouses in the entire world, they are also the number one existences that can be ranked. But, even if it is such two people, even if they both use the high-level hockey application of armed color winding, there is still no way to make Whitebeard serious. Captain Margot, Captain Joes, don't be discouraged, after all, your opponent is the strongest man in the world. Yes, your opponent is Dad, so there's no need to feel sad about it. For a while, everyone started to comfort Margot and Joes. Original. At this time Whitebeard will also comfort. But today is different. With Blackbeard murdering and defecting from the Whitebeard Pirates, Whitebeard himself realizes that his time is numbered. At this time, he hoped that Margot, Josie and others could force him to make a full shot. Even, if he can beat him, that would be the best. I recovered a little bit. Whitebeard smiled confidently again. Despite all the emotions in his heart, Whitebeard didn't intend to let his family worry about it. All right, Whitebeard spoke. The others stopped. All eyes turned to Whitebeard. Now, there are traitors among us. This matter will definitely affect the reputation of the Whitebeard Pirates, so that other people will attack us. What everyone has to do now is to train hard and keep all enemies out of the sphere of influence protected by the Whitebeard Pirates, understand? Clear. Where the 4th Division is located. Lin An looked at the 100 brothers in front of him. Although it is said that he leads everyone to train on weekdays. But this is the first time as Captain Fan. Everyone should know about Captain Sachi, right? No, Sachi's surprise attack by Blackbeard happened on the 4th team's ship. Even the fallen body of Sax has been seen by many people. Listening to the voices of the crew of the 4th Division, Lin An nodded. Then, everyone should know how to do it. Train hard and kill the traitor Blackbeard teach. For this answer, Lin An nodded in satisfaction. Then, follow my previous training method, choose opponents 2 by 2, and then conduct combat training. Yes, there was a deafening sound. Quickly, the crew of the 4th Division divided up their opponents. Everyone chose someone with similar strength, and soon, combat training began. There is a reason for Sax. At this time, the training became even harder. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Remember the basics, how many times have I told you? You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. You have to be steady, you can't even hold a knife and you still tell me that you are a pirate and you want to kill people. You picked up a defense. Close black lens bracket. Yes, you have to be experienced when you use force, and you can't let people break the trick easily. Lin An is shuttled in the battle of the crew of the 4th Division. Every once in a while, he would open his mouth to help correct the mistakes of the crew. It seems that Sachi's injury has brought him a big impact. Moby Dick aboard. Sitting on the bow of the boat, Margot and Josie happened to see how Lin An was training the crew of the 4th Division. There was a look of admiration and a little sentimentality on Margot's face. He actually led the crew to train together as the captain. No, Joes directly denied Marcos' words. It's not something that happened after Sachi was injured. Oh, listen to what Joes said. A puzzled look appeared on Margaret's face. There was a hint of doubt in the look of looking at Joes. At this time, Margot remembered the time when Whitebeard proposed to let Lin An be the captain of the 4th team temporarily. It was also Joes who spoke first. You were the first one to express your support when Dad suggested that Lin An be the captain of the 4th Division temporarily. Could it be that you two have some PY deal? What PY deal? Joes was a little speechless about Margot's sudden trickery. I am the captain of the 3rd team. If there are no sailing activities or missions on weekdays, our ship and the 4th team are close together. This is how Lin An trains the crew on weekdays. This is why I agree with Lin An as the captain. He is really doing things for the Whitebeard Pirates, and he really thinks about the Whitebeard Pirates. It turned out to be like this. Malcolm nodded seriously. It's no wonder that he was able to reach the strength level of Captain Fan after 3 years of self-cultivation. Hard work is indeed the best way to become stronger. Although the 4 Emperors team is based on the powerhouse at the Emperor's deputy level. But the powerhouse at the level of the Emperor's deputy has already reached the top of the world. The existence of the 4 Emperors level has too many people to manage. It is impossible to use the Emperor's deputy for all of them. Similar to the Big Mom Pirates, there are only 3 powerhouses of the 3 Kings of Sweets, and the Beasts Pirates only have the 3 powerhouses of the 3 Disasters. The only ones in the Whitebeard Pirates who can reach the level of the Emperor's deputy are the captains of the first 3 teams. The strength of the rest of the captains are mostly around the level of the elite Vice Admiral. In Margot's cognition, Lin An is a strong person at the elite Vice Admiral level, so he has naturally reached the level of Captain Fan. Perhaps, you still underestimate him a little. Joes looked at Lin An who was still training the crew. didn't agree with Margaret's words. To this, Marco was slightly surprised. You mean? That's right. Joe's nodded. As the person who was most familiar with Lin An besides the crew of the 4th Division, Jaws's evaluation of Lin An can be said to be extremely heavy. Even if this guy is not as good as you and me, I'm afraid it's not too far behind. Hiss. It was obviously impossible for Joes to lie to him. He couldn't help but sucked in a breath of cold air. After turning his eyes a few times in his sockets, Margao stood up. I'm tired, I'll go back to the first team's boat to rest first. Talking. Then he turned into a phoenix and flew to the place where the first team was. In this regard, Joe smiled slightly. If you want to go to practice, just say it, do you need to be so secretive? While talking, Jaws's side is also going to the 3rd team. Obviously, he was also mobilized by Lin An. The crew members of the other teams were also moved when they saw Lin An and the 4th team working so hard. Captain Lin An is already at the level of vice captain and still works so hard, how can we be lazy? As expected of the vice captain of our ship, he is reliable. In just a few words, the 1,600 people on board started to move one after another. Voluntarily joined Lin An's training team. Chapter V Training the Crew. Advertise here. Chapter 8 Training the Crew. Neither Margot nor Josie is weak. Even counting the powerhouses in the entire world, they are also the number 1 existences that can be ranked. But, even if it is such 2 people, even if they both use the high-level hockey application of armed color winding, there is still no way to make Whitebeard serious. Captain Margao, Captain Joes, don't be discouraged, after all, your opponent is the strongest man in the world. Yes, your opponent is Dad, so there's no need to feel sad about it. For a while, everyone started to comfort Margao and Joes. Original. At this time Whitebeard will also comfort. But today is different. With Blackbeard murdering and defecting from the Whitebeard Pirates, Whitebeard himself realizes that his time is numbered. At this time, he hoped that Margao, Josie and others could force him to make a full shot. Even, if he can beat him, that would be the best. I recovered a little bit. Whitebeard smiled confidently again. Despite all the emotions in his heart, Whitebeard didn't intend to let his family worry about it. All right, Whitebeard spoke. The others stopped. All eyes turned to Whitebeard. Now, there are traitors among us. This matter will definitely affect the reputation of the Whitebeard Pirates, so that other people will attack us. What everyone has to do now is to train hard and keep all enemies out of the sphere of influence protected by the Whitebeard Pirates, understand? Clear. Where the 4th Division is located. Lin An looked at the 100 brothers in front of him. Although it is said that he leads everyone to train on weekdays. But this is the first time as Captain Fan. Everyone should know about Captain Sachi, right? No, Sachi's surprise attack by Blackbeard happened on the 4th team's ship. Even the fallen body of Sax has been seen by many people. Listening to the voices of the crew of the 4th Division, Lin An nodded. Then, everyone should know how to do it. Train hard and kill the traitor Blackbeard teach. For this answer, Lin An nodded in satisfaction. Then, follow my previous training method, choose opponents 2 by 2, and then conduct combat training. Yes, there was a deafening sound. Quickly, the crew of the 4th Division divided up their opponents. Everyone chose someone with similar strength, and soon, combat training began. There is a reason for Sax. At this time, the training became even harder. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Remember the basics, how many times have I told you? You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. You have to be steady, you can't even hold a knife and you still tell me that you are a pirate and you want to kill people. You picked up a defense. Close black lens bracket. Yes, you have to be experienced when you use force, and you can't let people break the trick easily. Lin An is shuttled in the battle of the crew of the 4th Division. Every once in a while, he would open his mouth to help correct the mistakes of the crew. It seems that Sachi's injury has brought him a big impact. Moby Dick aboard. Sitting on the bow of the boat, Margao and Josie happened to see how Lin An was training the crew of the 4th Division. There was a look of admiration and a little sentimentality on Margot's face. He actually led the crew to train together as the captain. No, Joes directly denied Marco's words. It's not something that happened after Sachi was injured. Oh, listen to what Joes said. A puzzled look appeared on Margaret's face. There was a hint of doubt in the look of looking at Joes. At this time, Margao remembered the time when Whitebeard proposed to let Lin An be the captain of the 4th team temporarily. It was also Joes who spoke first. You were the first one to express your support when Dad suggested that Lin An be the captain of the 4th Division temporarily. Could it be that you two have some PY deal? What PY deal? Joes was a little speechless about Margao's sudden trickery. I am the captain of the 3rd team. If there are no sailing activities or missions on weekdays, our ship and the 4th team are close together. This is how Lin An trains the crew on weekdays. This is why I agree with Lin An as the captain. He is really doing things for the Whitebeard Pirates, and he really thinks about the Whitebeard Pirates. It turned out to be like this. Malcolm nodded seriously. It's no wonder that he was able to reach the strength level of Captain Fan after 3 years of self-cultivation. Hard work is indeed the best way to become stronger. Although the Four Emperors team is based on the powerhouse at the Emperor's deputy level. But the powerhouse at the level of the Emperor's deputy has already reached the top of the world. The existence of the Four Emperors level has too many people to manage. It is impossible to use the Emperor's deputy for all of them. Similar to the Big Mom Pirates, there are only 3 powerhouses of the 3 Kings of Sweets, and the Beasts Pirates only have the 3 powerhouses of the 3 Disasters. The only ones in the Whitebeard Pirates who can reach the level of the Emperor's deputy are the captains of the first 3 teams. The strength of the rest of the captains are mostly around the level of the elite Vice Admiral. In Margau's cognition, Lin An is a strong person at the elite Vice Admiral level, so he has naturally reached the level of Captain Fan. Perhaps, you still underestimate him a little. Joes looked at Lin An, who was still training the crew. Didn't agree with Margaret's words. To this, Marco was slightly surprised. You mean? That's right. Joes nodded, as the person who was most familiar with Lin An besides the crew of the 4th Division. Jaws's evaluation of Lin An can be said to be extremely heavy. Even if this guy is not as good as you and me, I'm afraid it's not too far behind. Hiss. It was obviously impossible for Joes to lie to him. He couldn't help but sucked in a breath of cold air. After turning his eyes a few times in his sockets, Margau stood up. I'm tired, I'll go back to the first team's boat to rest first. Talking. Then he turned into a phoenix and flew to the place where the first team was. In this regard, Joes smiled slightly. If you want to go to practice, just say it, do you need to be so secretive? While talking, Jaws's side is also going to the 3rd team. Obviously, he was also mobilized by Lin An. The crew members of the other teams were also moved when they saw Lin An and the 4th team working so hard. Captain Lin An is already at the level of vice captain and still works so hard, how can we be lazy? As expected of the vice captain of our ship, he is reliable. In just a few words, the 1,600 people on board started to move one after another. Voluntarily joined Lin An's training team. Chapter 9 Power Soars, Whitebeard's approval. Advertise here. Chapter 9 Power Rising, Whitebeard's approval. All 1,600 people on the ship voluntarily joined the training led by Lin An, and this result can be said to have greatly exceeded Lin An's expectations. But, this is also understandable. After all, what happened to Blackbeard is still fresh in people's memory. In order to deal with this kind of thing happening again, the best solution is naturally to improve one's own strength. Very good. Nodding slightly, Lin An didn't show it on the face, but she was smiling deep in her heart. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. For Lin An, the more people who can train with him, the better. In this kind of confrontation training, it is easy to drop attributes. The more people there are, the more attributes Lin An can pick up. If before Lin An only trained 100 members of the 4th team and he could pick up 10 attributes every day, then now he can multiply by 16 and pick up 160 attributes every day. And it is the most basic, if someone has some insights from the training, or grows through the training. The number of attributes he can obtain will be even more. Everyone must remember that if you want to sail on the sea, you must be strong enough. You have picked up an intelligence. Close black lens bracket. You have picked up an armament hockey sentiment. Close black lens bracket. Lin An worked tirelessly to adjust the positions of the 1,600 people in front of him so that they would not affect other people during the battle. I am also shuttled among these 1,600 people. The strength is enough, but the agility is not enough. This way is wrong. Even if your strength is trained to kill Marine Admiral with one punch, what's the use if you can't hit someone? You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Every once in a while, wherever he goes, Lin An will open his mouth to help solve the problems of one or more people. Lin An, who has reached the rank of Emperor's deputy, has enough qualifications and abilities to make people believe his words. The friendly impression he has built up over the past year of joining the Whitebeard Pirates also makes him more willing to believe his words. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Even if you are facing your own people now, you can't hesitate and hold back. When encountering a real enemy, they will not be moved by your holding back, they will only think that you are a paratrooper. And the hand-holding habit you have developed now will destroy your life. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Just as Lin An thought. The attributes that could only be picked up occasionally during the training of the 4th team, became significantly more after expanding to 1,600 people. Although it also made him busier. However, he also became more fulfilled. The people trained here are not just pirate soldiers, but also the middle and low-level leaders of the Whitebeard pirate group. But don't underestimate these anonymous people. They are the leaders of the world's #1 pirate group, the Whitebeard Pirates. The strength is at the level of Marine Rear Admiral or even Vice Admiral. According to the rule that the higher the strength, the stronger the dropped attributes, Lin An's strength is also improving rapidly. Good. Moby Dick aboard. Whitebeard sat on the throne and drank the wine. Seeing Lin An leading the drills of the pirates under his command is gratifying. He has already sensed the breath of his own death. Although he doesn't know the exact time yet, it must not be too far away. The thing that worries him most now is the future of the Whitebeard Pirates after he leaves. Floating on the sea, there has never been a shortage of kings. But it is rare to be able to survive after they leave. Nowadays, the Whitebeard Pirates seem to be in full swing. In fact, this is all due to his being alive. Once he passed away, the consequences would be disastrous. The most important thing now is to improve the overall strength of the Whitebeard Pirates. It would be the best if we can cultivate a 4 Emperors level powerhouse. But, just under the test, neither Marco, the captain of the first team, nor Josie, the captain of the third team, could meet his requirements. Margao, Jose, what do you say is the strength of Lin An now? Hearing what Whitebeard said, Jose quickly said, I'm the closest to the fourth team, and I should be regarded as one of the people who know Lin An best on board. Although Lin An is said to be only the vice captain, he is not weak in terms of strength. He may be weaker than me, but he is definitely not too weak. Oh, Whitebeard nodded, not showing the slightest on the surface, but inwardly he was surprised. What is Jose's identity? Captain of the Whitebeard Pirates 3rd Division. Knowing how to entangle weapons, coupled with the assistance of Diamond Fruit, can be considered among the best even in the rank of Emperor's Deputy. Such a person hesitates when evaluating Lin An. This is already the best compliment to Lin An's strength. As it should be. As the #1 pirate group in the world, the Whitebeard Pirates stand in a high position and no one dares to provoke them, which would have caused the people below to slack in their practice because of their status. However, this slack has shown some signs of improvement since Lin An appeared. Whitebeard recalls the changes Lin An has brought to the Whitebeard Pirates since joining the Whitebeard Pirates over a year ago. A smile could not help showing on his face. This little guy is really a person who makes me satisfied. Listening to Whitebeard's words, Margot and Jose looked at each other and nodded. Lin An is indeed satisfying. For more than a year, he not only practiced by himself, but also brought the entire Whitebeard Pirates to practice together. And, every time I go out on a mission, I take the lead. That's why Whitebeard put someone who had just been in the Whitebeard Pirates for over a year as the vice captain. Moreover, Lin An's potential is also extraordinary. When Lin An first joined the Whitebeard Pirates, his strength was only around the level of vice admiral. Just over a year, it has reached the level where Jose has to hesitate before giving an evaluation. As the saying goes, hard work pays off, and Lin An's success depends entirely on his hard work. It's not just him, Ace is also able to improve to the level of the Emperor's deputy in a short period of time. Whitebeard praised Lin An again. When he said this, he looked at Margot and Josie with a little dissatisfaction. On the other hand, you two disappointed me a little. Listen to Whitebeard say that. Margot and Jose were a little ashamed, and did not dare to respond to Whitebeard's words for a while. Whitebeard talked about their pain points. In terms of potential, they are indeed not as strong as Lin An and Ace. But more importantly, they are too lazy. Chapter 10 New World Assault, Bold Jack. Advertise here. Chapter 10 New World Assault, Bold Jack. After all, Margot and Josie are capable of reaching the level of Emperor's deputy. Even if the potential is not as good as Lin An and Ace, how can it be worse? They are more than twice as old as Lin An and Ace, which means they have twice, or even several times, the time to practice. Now it is gradually being caught up by Lin An and Ace, which already shows the problem. That's what Dad taught me. Margot scratched his head and quickly confessed. The same is true for Jose on the side. Haven't we been practicing hard recently? Why are you cultivating and are you willing to let me speak for you? Facing Margot and Jose's final stubbornness, Whitebeard unceremoniously tore their fig leaf. If it weren't for Lin An and Ace, especially Lin An's almost pervert improvement over the past year, how would you guys work hard? Stop scolding. Stop scolding. Margaret and Josie were too stunned to say a word by Whitebeard's words. The other captains and vice captains on the side also secretly laughed. I mentioned the two of them, but didn't I mention you? Whitebeard looked at Lin An, who led the entire Whitebeard Pirates in practice and sparring training, the more he liked it more and more. I noticed the attitude of the captain and the vice captains towards Margot and Jose. A slightly dissatisfied expression appeared on his face. Aren't you slacking off? Awkward. Have no choice. These captains and deputy captains can only accept it. Yes, you are on the right track. Lin An was not clear about what was going on above the Moby Dick. Although he practiced hard for 2 hours below, he didn't feel irritable or tired at all. 100 people really can't compare with 1,600 people. You have picked up an intelligence. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a copy of Observation Hockey. Close black lens bracket. This can't be compared to not only the increase in the number of people, but also the increase in masters. Just one day made Lin An grow even more than the previous week. Lin An was also very happy at this time. The strength level of the Wangfu class that had just broken through was consolidated in just a few days. At this time, he may not be as good as the Emperor's Deputy Peak, the Rice Cake Brother category in the Big Mom Pirates, and he may even be a strong man who has entered the 4 Emperors level. But it is also better than Doflamingo, who is able to reach the Emperor level because of Fruit Awakening. Not only that, Lin An's improvement is not just an improvement in strength. Armament Haki, Observation Haki have been upgraded to a very high level. He even got Whitebeard's shock fruit. Is shock fruit strong? Powerful. It is no exaggeration to say that it is one of the strongest batches among devil fruit. After these few days of familiarization, Lin An has been able to use shock fruit initially. Unfortunately, because of the side effects of shock fruit and the fact that the time for owning the fruit is not long, Lin An can't use it to the extent that Whitebeard can shatter an island with one blow, at most he can barely use it. But, just this is enough. Shock fruit came out. It's not a joke that even Logia shuns. Rubbing his hands slightly, some small cracks appeared on the black and purple fingers. Over the past few days, he has gradually understood how to reduce the side effects of shock fruit. That is to use armament Haki to isolate the shock of shock fruit. As long as your own armament Haki is strong enough to completely isolate the side effects of shock fruit's shock, then you can guarantee that your body will not be damaged. It's not easy to do that, otherwise Whitebeard wouldn't be in the ailment-ridden state he is now. However, Lin An is different. He can practice himself to become stronger, and at the same time, he can pick up other people's armament Haki perception to enhance the strength of the armed color. With cheat in Lin An, not to mention achieving the position of 4 emperors, even surpassing Whitebeard to become the strongest in the world is only a matter of time. Training continues. Seeing Lin An and the 1,600 members of the Whitebeard Pirates in full swing, Whitebeard also felt a little itchy, and looked at the captains who accompanied him. You. Report. Just as Whitebeard was about to find someone to practice, a wounded pirate wobbled up to Whitebeard and the group of captains. After seeing Whitebeard, the whole person knelt down directly. Daddy, save my brothers. Whitebeard shifted his gaze to the wounded pirate. There was a look of doubt on his face. He remembered all the 1,600 crew members of the Whitebeard Pirates, and even knew their names. He didn't know this guy. However, since he can board the ship, he is also a member of the Whitebeard Pirates. In this way, there are only 2 identities for him. One is the island that Whitebeard shelters, the country. The other is to follow the members of the 43 affiliated pirates of the Whitebeard Pirates. The pirate was bleeding all over and was missing a right arm. The mental state of the whole person is very bad. In this state, it is very possible to die in the next second. Where's the doctor? Come here and help him bandage. Whitebeard didn't rush to ask him what happened. Seeing his anxious face, he was still unmoved. I know you're in a hurry, but you're seriously injured now, and you don't want to lose too much blood and die before your news is conveyed, right? It's a waste of all the efforts of the brothers who sent you out, right? Listen to Whitebeard say that. The pirate agreed to let the doctors bandage himself first. Stop bleeding, apply medicine, bandage. Gradually, the pirate's complexion improved a lot. Only, because what happened was too big, he spoke again when the doctor hadn't helped him fix the wound. Dad, Jack the Drow ransacked our ship. Heard the news. Everyone, including Lin An who rushed over after receiving the news, was taken aback. How can it be, Jack? The top management of Kaido of the Beasts, one of the 4 emperors, Beasts Pirates, one of the 3 disasters, drought. Although there are many frictions between the 4 emperors, in order to avoid large-scale conflicts, they usually fight small. What is this Jack going to do now? After hearing the news, the entire Whitebeard Pirates were in an uproar. Everyone showed expressions of disbelief. What did Jack do? Whitebeard, the strongest man at sea, has 15 captains, 14 vice captains, and an acting captain. Everyone's eyes fell on the pirate with the broken arm at this moment. With such a huge lineup, even if it is Marine's elite team, they dare not neglect it. For a while, the broken arm pirate froze in place, not knowing what to say. It's okay. Don't rush, just speak slowly. Chapter 11 Lin An invites a battle to test Whitebeard. Advertise here. Chapter 11 Lin An invites a battle to test Whitebeard. Gradually, the broken arm pirate calmed down. As such that. The broken arm pirate explained the matter thoroughly. They were transporting supplies and sailing normally, and they met the ship where Jack the Drow was on the way. Although the 4 emperors are calm on the surface, there is still friction between them. They directly chose to avoid it, but Jack the Drow ignored it completely and chased after him directly. They directly snatched their supplies, and injured and even killed many of them. Most importantly, the place Jack the Drow plundered was not the place under the jurisdiction and shelter of the Beasts Pirates, nor the tacit neutral place of the 4 emperors, but the place where the Whitebeard Pirates took shelter. I see. Hearing what the broken arm pirate said, Whitebeard nodded. Although Whitebeard seems to be calm on the surface. But anyone could see his anger. There must be revenge. This is revenge for the brothers, and it is also a warning to Kaido not to go too far. For a while, the crowd was excited. Someone will stand up soon. That's right, if it is said that it is in the neutral area or the Beasts Pirates, Jack's approach is still reasonable, then he robbed us on the territory of the Whitebeard Pirates, that is to ignore us at all. Inside. Not just ordinary Whitebeard Pirates. Even Captain Fan and the vice captains are going to end at this time. Father. Jack really went too far this time. At this time. Lin An also stood up. There was anger in his eyes. He also has his own considerations. Lin An is very clear that the spread of Blackbeard's matter will inevitably affect the reputation of the Whitebeard Pirates. I just didn't expect that the impact would be so great. Beast's pirates even dispatched 3 disasters to test. This time, whether the Whitebeard Pirates want to react or not, Jack must be judged. Once the Whitebeard Pirates fell in love with this matter. In the future, the sphere of influence and influence in New World may be directly reduced. Whitebeard nodded. Anything Lin An could think of. How could he, who has been in the sea for decades, not think of it? He has galloped the sea for decades and has been invincible for decades, so how could he not have any anger because of this matter? But, as the backbone of the Whitebeard Pirates, he can't act like Lin An. Retaliation is necessary. During the conversation, Whitebeard looked at Margaret and Josie. Jack is one of the 3 disasters of the Beast's pirates, and he is a powerhouse at the Emperor's deputy level. It stands to reason. Among the Whitebeard Pirates, the most suitable for this mission should be Ace. Ace has the lowest qualifications, and is also the weakest of the 3 Emperor ranks in the Whitebeard Pirates, which just corresponds to Jack, the weakest of the 3 disasters. Margot, Josie and the others were on the sidelines, guarding against the support of the other 2 of the 3 disasters. As for whether Kaido will take action himself, Whitebeard is not worried about this question. He didn't believe it, and he didn't think Kaido had the guts to really choose to go to war with him. However, Ace is not on the pirate ship because he is going to hunt down Blackbeard. From the current point of view, only one of Marco and Joe's can take the role. Since Ace cannot be discharged equally, then let the strongest person take action and directly suppress Jack. Thinking of this, Whitebeard looked at Margot. Then, this mission will be. Father, I apply to play. Just at this time, Lin An stood up. He has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. The battles between the Emperor's vice-level powerhouses, especially the battles he personally participated in, would have more and stronger attributes. He would not miss such a good opportunity to become stronger. Whitebeard looked at Lin An. Although he approves of Lin An, Jack is still a veteran at the vice-level powerhouse, so he is still not at ease. Daddy, I support Lin An. At this time, it was Joe's who stood up again. If you compare Lin An's strength with mine, he may not be as good, but if it's just Jack, he can definitely beat him. Joe said so. Even Whitebeard was slightly surprised. He naturally wouldn't doubt what Joe said, and he also knew that Lin An had grown a lot recently. However, he did not expect Lin An to grow so fast. Put it this way, Lin An has now surpassed Ace, reaching the 4th strongest master after himself, Margot, and Josie. Eyes flicker. I agree too. Just as Whitebeard was still hesitating, Margot also sent an assist. After being approved by both Margot and Joe's, Whitebeard hesitated before finally making a decision. Okay. In this case, Lin An will lead the 4th team to capture Jack and seek justice for my Whitebeard Pirates. In addition, Margot led the 1st team, and Josie led the 3rd team to hold Lin An from a distance, preventing the rest of the Beast's pirates from giving Jack support. Yes. A series of roars sounded on the Moby Dick. On the sea, not far from the boat snatching incident. Jack's mammoth ship was in no hurry to leave. Jack played with the food in his hand, and threw it into the sea with a little disdain. So, the person Whitebeard sent against me this time was a vice captain. It can be seen from Jack's attitude. He didn't care about the looted supplies. He was sent by Kaido to test Whitebeard's bottom line. If the reaction is severe, then replay it again, and at worst give up a few islands to calm down Whitebeard. If Whitebeard's resistance wasn't violent, it was even symbolic. Then for Whitebeard's territory in the New World, it can start to gradually erode. It appears that Whitebeard is really dying. With disdain on his face. Jack had already decided that Whitebeard's reaction was just to ask him for an explanation. Ask me for an explanation. A mere deputy captain is also worthy. Speaking of which, Jack's eyes were full of blood and murderous look. Since you look down on me so much, then just one ship casualty doesn't seem exciting enough. If I kill this vice captain, how will you, the strongest man above the sea, react? Think here. Jack's eyes snapped open. The pupil shrank into a small dot at this moment. The whites of the eyes are bloodshot from excitement. Ha 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 ha. Crazy laughter escaped Jack's mouth. His gaze was set in the direction of the sea area where the Moby Dick was located. Come quickly. Let me kill you. Chapter 12 The Second Shock Fruit. Jack is furious. Advertise here. Chapter 12 The Second Shock Fruit. Jack is furious. Jack the Dro. Jack didn't have to wait long. Lin An had arrived. Looking at Lin An, who was sitting firmly on the Mammoth Regiment's boat, there was a trace of fighting spirit in his eyes. This is also the first time he has fought against an Emperor-level powerhouse. He snatched something from my Whitebeard Pirates, yet he still dares to stay within the sphere of influence of my Whitebeard Pirates. You are quite courageous. Pirates don't rob. Do you think I'm a philanthropist? Jack echoed Lin An's words. But his eyes were not on Lin An. Searched around a bit. There was a little dissatisfaction on his face. So you don't take me seriously. Margot and Josie really didn't come. I can tell. Jack really didn't take Lin An seriously. Even if he knew that Lin An was very powerful. Ah. To this, Lin An sneered. He also knew that if he could not show his strength, Jack's attitude would not change in any way. Do it. While speaking, the boat of the 4th Division and 100 people of the 4th Division had already rushed towards Jack's mammoth group. This time Lin An directly charged forward. Kill. Kill. For a while, the sound of shouting and killing shook the sky. Everyone in the 4th squad was excited. Even in the face of Jack the Drow, one of the long-known 3 plagues. They believed in Lin An. Believe in the strength of this acting vice captain. Kill. Quickly. The ship of the 4th Division is already close to the ship of the Mammoth Regiment. At the level of the Emperor's deputy, the artillery attack has no effect. The best way is to fight hand to hand and bayonet. Jack, today I want to let you know what the price of arrogance is. The boat is not yet close. Lin An couldn't wait to rush forward. The black-purple coating that emerged on the fingers is the extremely high-level armament hockey. Come up alone. Are you so brave? Ha ha ha, maybe we can kill a vice-captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. Seeing Lin An boarding the boat alone, the members of the Mammoth Regiment rushed up. Bang. Bang bang. However, how could this group of trash fish be Lin An's opponent? Fist and kick together, Lin An directly repulsed the people rushing up around him. Anyone who dares to touch my Whitebeard Pirates will die. It's just a bunch of jumping clowns. Do you really think of yourself as a human? Accompanied by the approach of 2 ships, the boarding operation begins. Under the leadership of Lin An, the members of the 4th Division rushed directly onto the ship of the Jack Mammoth Regiment. Quickly, the crews of both sides fought on the boat of the Jack Mammoth Regiment. Jack's Mammoth Regiment are elite. However, the crew of Lin An's 4th team is not bad, especially in the past year and a half under Lin An's leadership, it has become stronger. For a while, the 2 sides fell directly into a stalemate battle. Jack, today is your death day. Lin An covered the crew of the 4th Division boarding the ship. After receiving the crew of the 4th Squadron, they boarded Jack's pirate ship completely. He leaned directly in front of Jack. The extremely dark armament hockey is condensed on both fingers. Accompanied by Lin An's manipulation. A punch straight to Jack's face. Well done. Jack is not to be outdone. The modified version of the shorter scimitar on the hands is covered with a layer of black and purple coating. This black-purple coating vaguely has the appearance of high-concentration energy swirling on it. It is the high-level application of armament hockey, armed color winding. On the machete, it was so sharp that it seemed to pierce Lin An's skin through the air. Junjun, break the ice. To this, Lin An didn't panic at all. Patterns like shattered glass appeared around Lin An's fist. Bang. There was a loud bang. Immediately afterwards, the scimitar in Jack's hand was shattered at this moment. How can it be? Dodging Lin An's fist with great difficulty. Jack was dumbfounded. Shock fruit. That old fellow Whitebeard is dead. Devil fruit is an iconic ability in One Piece. It also has its extremely strict rules. The most important one is that the fruit of each ability can only appear on one person at a time. Taking shock fruit as an example, if you want to get shock fruit, you must kill the original shock fruit capable user, and then the shock fruit will turn into devil fruit again and appear in the world. No, your ability should be devil fruit, which is a substitute for shock fruit. Having said that, Jack had a mocking look on his face. He was just taken aback by this familiar ability. His eyes turned to Lin An again. Good guy, you are hiding deep enough. Not even intelligence from the beast's pirates. In the new world, especially the intelligence between the 4 emperors is very close. The so-called know yourself, know your enemy, and win 100 battles. If you want to win, it is impossible to underestimate the enemy. You must fully understand the opponent for your own survival and future layout. People and other means have everything. Don't look at Jack's disdain for Lin An on the surface, but that's only because he is the 3 plagues of the beast's pirates. The existence of Lin An at the level of the vice-captain of the Whitebeard Pirates is already within the focus of all parties. Something interesting. Your devil fruit should be the lower fruit of shock fruit, right? Jack also reacted, and after thinking of a reasonable reason, his eyes were no longer so flustered. There are similar abilities among devil fruits. Similarly, such fruits are also divided into high and low positions. Taking the examples already in the original book as an example, in terms of heat, the lava fruit is the highest, the mera mera fruit is the lower fruit of the lava fruit, and the hot fruit is the lower fruit of the mera mera fruit. Today's Jack and Marco, Joes have the same idea. It is determined that Lin An's devil fruit is the lower fruit of shock fruit. Who knows? Lin An smiled slightly at Jack, and gave Jack an ambiguous answer. Lin An had already gained the upper hand after the 2 faced off with the first move. But he was not in a hurry to take advantage of the victory and pursue it. Scared. Afraid. As soon as I heard Lin An say so. A sneer appeared on Jack's face. You don't think you can be stronger than me with a devil fruit, do you? During the conversation, Jack spread his hands out. Lin An had smashed 2 of them with shock fruit, leaving only the handle of the scimitar, and he threw it into the sea. The whole person changes gradually. Zone elephant fruit ancient species mammoth form. This is Jack's devil fruit. Speaking of devil fruit, you won't forget that I have it too, right? Chapter 13 Crazy Jack, Lin An's Purpose. Advertise here. Chapter 13 Crazy Jack, Lin An's Purpose. Gradually, Jack's body has changed completely. The already tall body became stronger at this moment. With a height of nearly 10 meters and a body length of nearly 20 meters, a long extinct mammoth stood in front of Lin An like this. Moo! A growl came from Jack's mouth. It was like the scream of a scalper, but it was sharper than that of a scalper. Seeing this scene, Lin An also showed surprise on his face. With such a huge body, it's no wonder that this ship will be built so big. The crew of the Mammoth Regiment and the number 4 team led by Lin An are about 100 people. However, its size is not comparable to other pirate ships, and it is even larger than the size of a warship. I glanced left and right. A look of understanding appeared on Lin An's face. This is for when Jack goes crazy. Bigness is a good thing, the range of activities increases, and more things can be stored. It's just that the rest of the Mammoth group suffered. The bigger the hull, the more energy it takes. After all, the Mammoth Regiment didn't increase in numbers much because of the size of the ship. Now, go to hell. Jack's transformation is complete. Lifting his front foot, he ran straight to step on Lin An's head. The legs of the woolly mammoth directly covered Lin An's entire body. For a while, Lin An's surroundings seemed to be dark. Ah, a sneer came out. Lin An's fists were covered with a thick layer of armament hockey. Immediately afterwards, thin cracks appeared near Lin An's fists. The shock energy of shock fruit was compressed by him within a controllable range. Aim for the mammoth foot that Jack stepped on. One punch hit the center of the mammoth's foot. Bang! The fist and the mammoth foot collided directly. Immediately afterwards, it has not waited for the two sides to compete for strength. Lin An has fully released the power of shock fruit gathered together. Moo! A piercing howl sounded. Immediately afterwards, Jack's huge mammoth body fell backwards unconsciously. Stepping on Lin An's feet seemed to be slightly distorted at this time. Lin An just punched with shock fruit. Almost ruined one of Jack's legs. Good boy. Stand up slowly. Jack flicked his foot. Looking down at Lin An with a mammoth face. The fat and skin of the mammoth are extremely thick, and Jack, who has the fruit of the mammoth, can be said to be one of the strongest people on the sea. Although the kick just now was not Jack's full strength, it also added armament hockey. However, even so, it still couldn't stop Lin An's fist. It is enough to see how difficult Lin An is to deal with. But, he didn't care either. Looking at Lin An, he said slowly, "You actually used your ability directly. It seems that you are not as powerful as me." Of course, Lin An has no intention of denying this. This Jack is a murloc, and his racial superiority gives him strength 10 times stronger than that of humans. Coupled with the assistance of the mammoth fruit, Jack's strength has reached a new level. With such a combination of racial talent and fruit ability, it is not an exaggeration to say that Jack is the most powerful person at the level of the Emperor's deputy. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Jack's strength entered his body. Lin An even felt life beating and muscles shaking. This bonus even exceeds the power dropped from Whitebeard. Good guy, the bonus is so high. Single quote. For a while, Lin An was also pleasantly surprised. He knew that the battle between himself and the deputy level would definitely make him stronger. However, I didn't expect the effect to be so good. At this moment, Lin An felt a different emotion in his heart. That is to level up with Jack. After trying to understand things, Lin An's gaze shifted to Jack. I don't deny that. However, can only strength beat me? Hee hee. A sneer came from Jack's mouth. Looking at Lin An. Although the two only exchanged 2 moves, Jack also understood what Lin An said was true. Moo! The sky-shaking roar resounded through the sky. For a while, because of Jack's roar, the crews of the Mammoth Regiment and the 4th Division who were fighting had to plug their ears because of the loud noise, and there was a brief truce. Jack's body also changed again. The huge body, which was originally 10 meters high and more than 20 meters long, began to expand again. It doesn't stop until it grows to a height of 15 meters and a body length of 30 meters. Moo! The roar sounded again. Jack's physical changes haven't stopped. The hair of the whole body gradually turned from black-brown to reddish-pink. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. What is this? The moment Lin An picked up the devil fruit growth experience, Lin An was taken aback. This attribute is also the first time he has picked it up. But, in the next second Lin An understood what it meant. My own shock fruit's understanding at this time has improved a little stage and visibly. After getting this, Lin An was even more pleasantly surprised. The line of sight looking at Jack is no longer as simple as the enemy. Also brought a trace of eager. It seems. You are stronger than I thought. Also more valuable. That's natural. Jack, who had turned into a colossus, looked down at Lin An in front of him. Lin An, who is only 1.9 meters tall, is a bit short in the world of One Piece. At this time, it looked like an ant. Jack doesn't know Lin An's thoughts, nor does he know Lin An's cheat of picking attributes. Only when Lin An is complimenting him. The whole person exudes a proud posture. I admit that you do have some strength, but if it's only to this level, then don't blame me for not reminding you to be careful not to be trampled to death by me. During the conversation, Jack raised his left front leg again. This time, the black and purple armament hockey is directly painted on the whole leg. You can also vaguely see the armed color swirling above Jack's legs like a vortex. It is the advanced application of armament hockey, armament hockey. You have picked up an armament hockey sentiment. Close black lens bracket. Well done. After picking up the attributes dropped from Jack, Lin An shock fruit launched with full force. Completely condensed on the right fist. This time, even if Jack has fully activated the ability of the mammoth fruit, he does not intend to escape. At the same time, the distant sea. Moby Dick has a video phone bug in front of Whitebeard. The scene played by the phone bug is the battle between Lin An and Jack. This kid, it's really deep. Chapter 14 Whitebeard and Kaido's reaction, full fire. Advertise here. Chapter 14 Whitebeard and Kaido's reaction, full fire. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the Moby Dick was completely silent at this time. It's not that they weren't surprised that Lin An could really fight Jack, but because they were so surprised. Lin An is very strong. This is the consensus of Moby Dick, even the entire Whitebeard pirate group and even the entire Whitebeard sphere of influence. Otherwise, they would not be at ease to let Lin An train themselves. But how strong Lin An is, no one knows. After all, Lin An's previous strongest opponent was around the level of Vice Admiral. They really don't have the confidence to let Lin An deal with a powerhouse of the Emperor's deputy level. Even Whitebeard is the same. This is the reason why Margao and Chaozi were sent to support Lin An. Unexpectedly, his ability turned out to be a substitute for shock fruit. The world of One Piece has been recognized since ancient times. Devil fruit will always exist, but it will only appear on one person. To obtain that ability, the original demon fruit power must die. Whitebeard naturally doesn't think that Lin An's ability is shock fruit, and he also treats it as shock fruit's subordinate devil fruit. At this moment, there was some thought in his eyes. If that's the case, then I can also pass on my fruit ability experience to him. At this time, Whitebeard seemed to have found his goal, and his mental state reached a perfect level. These days he's been thinking about the future of the Whitebeard Pirates since Blackbeard's defection. Now it seems that he has already grasped this future. Look down. All the members of the Whitebeard Pirates are also looking at the video phone bug. It seems that I also have a successor. After seeing everyone's expressions, Whitebeard smiled and nodded. Besides, this little guy has a fairly good mass base below. As for matters within the sphere of influence, he has the assistance and help of Margao, Joes and others. Quote. Isn't the future of the Whitebeard Pirates settled? What happened? Wano-kuni, the base of the Beast's pirates. Kaido, who was dozing off after drinking, had a look of displeasure on his face. Slightly long eyes. Into the eyes. One is black all over, with fire on the top of the head, and the other has a round body like a ball and a braid on his head. Two men stood in front of him. With such a battle, even if you are long, you will be stunned. These two are Jin of Flame and Quinn of Plague respectively, and they are two of the three major boards of Beast's pirates. When drought, Jack was sent out to carry out orders and tasks. These two basically represent everything Beast's pirates is. The two of them actually dropped what they were doing and showed up together. Even Kaido understands the seriousness of the matter. He suppressed the anger that was just about to be released. Tell me what happened. Governor, you can tell what's going on at a glance. Quinn spread his hands. A video phone bug appeared on his hand. Under Quinn's control, a picture soon appeared. The scene above is the scene of Lin An and Jack fighting. Didn't it mean that the Whitebeard Pirates just sent a vice captain to ask for an explanation? Why did they fight? Seeing this, Kaido showed doubts on his face. Kaido was overjoyed when he learned that Whitebeard was only sending a vice captain. After all, this seems to be an argument, but it actually means that Whitebeard doesn't intend to argue with him about it. But, now this scene is very telling. At least, Whitebeard's approach is not trying to make this matter a big deal. The battle between Lin An and Jack, although it is not yet clear whether the outcome will be won or lost. However, Lin An vaguely had the upper hand. Kaido looked suspiciously at Jin and Quinn at the side. You told me, this is a vice captain. To this, Jin and Quinn were also unclear. Kaido frowned slightly, and shifted his gaze to the video phone bug again. Thoughts go back to my days on the Rocks Pirate. Whitebeard has always been a character he needs to look up to. This difference in status has continued to the present. Could it be that this is your Newgate's hidden hole card? How many things do you, an old guy who is about to sink into the ground, hide? The Whitebeard Pirates and the Kaido Pirates. Added up, even the huge forces capable of actively attacking the world government are all focused on Lin An. But, the parties are not clear. At this time, Lin An was still fighting Jack. The energy of the shock fruit on the hands is completely concentrated. Facing the gigantic monster Jack in front of him, he didn't dare to be distracted. Shaking, shattering, accompanied by Lin An's fist swing. His hand had collided with Jack's mammoth leg. Bang. There was a loud bang. Immediately afterwards, the world changed color. For a while, the crack representing shock fruit is spreading rapidly, and it seems to have eroded Jack's entire mammoth leg. Damn it. To this situation, Jack could only be impotent and furious. He has all the power, but he can't use it when facing Lin An's shock fruit. Even if the armed color winding is used now, there is no way. In order to prevent his legs from being torn apart by the shock fruit's vibration force, Jack had to retreat again. 2 moves in a row. He was forced back by Lin An. Now, Jack also thoroughly recognized Lin An's strength. You bastard. Jack looked at Lin An. There was an angry look in a pair of eyes. At this time, he has recognized Lin An's strength. This is an opponent of the Emperor's deputy level. Not even weaker than his opponent at all. Facing such a strong man. It's unrealistic to hold back. What's wrong? Lin An looked at Jack. There was a kind smile on his face. He didn't take it seriously at all. Under the test of these 3 tricks, Lin An already knew that he was stronger than Jack. In this way, there is no need to worry. The thing to do now is to force Jack to fight against himself as much as possible. In order to gain more power. Are you going to confess? Provocative method. And it's an extremely low-quality aggressive method. But, Jack really eats this set. From Lin An's perspective, it seems to be an existence that stands upright. At this time, it was extremely aggrieved. He is confident that he can trample Lin An into meat paste with 1 kick, however, his current situation is that he can't use his strength. Shock Fruit's ability is just too buggy. There is simply no way to deal with it. In that case, during the conversation, the 30-meter-long, 10-meter-high body shrank rapidly. Jack looked at Lin An. It can only be in the strongest form. Chapter 15 Jack was arrested. Is this the anti-beating king? Advertise here. Chapter 15 Jack was arrested. Is this the anti-beating king? I saw that Jack quickly recovered his own body size. However, even so, he still has a height of more than 8 meters. Muscles around the body become stronger. The whole head also maintains the head of a mammoth. Awakening of zone fruit, human and animal form. Seeing Jack's appearance, Lin An narrowed his eyes slightly. It seems that Jack has been forced to his final form. This form is also the most suitable form for Lin An's wool pulling. After all, although the shape of the mammoth is strong, its speed is too slow. Every attack takes a long time to prepare. This form is different. Maybe weaker in strength, but definitely the most balanced form. It's smart. A cruel grin spread over Jack's mammoth head. A cruel smile appeared on the hands. And this is the last thing you see. During the conversation, Jack's hands were instantly wrapped around the black and purple armament hockey. It hit Lin An with 1 punch. This time, Jack is faster than his mammoth form. Go to hell. Well done. Lin An doesn't have to be able to threaten Jack's shock fruit this time. Armament hockey is also wrapped around the hands. Straight to Jack. Bang. There was a muffled sound. The fists of the 2 collided. For a while, Lin An was suppressed. Ha ha ha. See here. Jack laughed maniacally. Push hard again. Bang. There was another muffled sound. Lin An was directly beaten back a few steps. In terms of pure strength, Lin An is weaker than Jack even if it is to strengthen the human beast form after the speed is weakened. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. To this, Lin An also showed an annoyed expression on his face at the right time. Come again. As if unconvinced, Lin An rushed to Jack again. Thick armament hockey wraps around both fists. Vaguely. Fist wind broke out at this moment. There were bursts of ear-piercing sounds. Good. Jack naturally accepted the move. Bang. Another fist-to-fist clash. The huge strength of the 2 directly shook the surrounding decks to the point of damage. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Next second. Lin An was sent flying again. This moment, Lin An's wisdom seems to have completely disappeared. The whole person is like a reckless man. He looked at Jack with red eyes. An expression of disbelief appeared on his face. Come again. The strength of the whole body condensed again. This time Lin An's power is even stronger than before. Come again. Jack faced Lin An's challenge again. Of course, it is not in vain. He also greeted him in the same way. This time, Jack noticed that Lin An's strength was gradually strengthening. But, it has not reached the range that he cannot accept. Drink. A roar. Jack exploded again. Lin An flew upside down. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Another 2 attributes. Lin An couldn't help the ecstasy in his heart. This is not an ordinary attribute, but an attribute of the Emperor's deputy level. Almost every time he picks it up, Lin An can clearly feel that his strength is growing. Although it is only a few tenths of a percent if it is converted into a percentage. However, you must know that the current Lin An is also at the level of the Emperor's deputy. Even in the Whitebeard Pirate group with a total of 1,600 people, the daily growth will never exceed 0.1%. Just fighting with Jack a few tricks, you can have a day's growth on weekdays. If it continues like this. If you fight for a few hours. Not to mention growing up to the peak of Margau's vice president. It is absolutely not unimaginable to catch up with Chaozi, the deputy powerhouse of the old Cannon King. Come again. Lin An looked at Jack. The eyes are red. The whole face turned red as if he had been wrong so much. See, Jack is even happier. Angry. Strength is the standard of speech. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You have picked up an intelligence. Close black lens bracket. Unconvinced. Come again. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of devil fruit perception experience. Close black lens bracket. No, that trick just now doesn't count. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You have picked up an observation hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Over time, Jack felt more and more that something was wrong. Lin An looked like he was beaten badly by himself. But he didn't even use his fruit ability. Bang. After another fist fight, Jack looked at Lin An panting. You guy, what's your plan? At this time, 7 hours have passed since Lin An and Jack met for the first time. Even as a Murloc, Jack, who was already physically strong, was on the verge of collapse. It seems that he has the upper hand every time. It seemed like Lin An was being beaten every time. But he was able to get up quickly. That physical strength, like a bottomless pit, makes people feel frightened. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. What? Are you scared? Count. If you are afraid, then obediently let me beat you up. As for Jack, Lin An didn't answer. After 7 hours of fighting, Lin An's overall strength at this time has increased by about 5%. It took at least a few months to grow on the Whitebeard pirate ship. In particular, armament hockey and observation hockey are growing rapidly. At this time, Lin An has been able to use armament hockey proficiently, but it is useless because of the need to sweep the wool. Your uncle, who told you that I was afraid? Jack went up again when he heard Lin An's words. Die to Laozi. This time, Jack was the first to attack. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You have picked up an observation hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. I don't believe it, you can still stand up all the time. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Again, you have picked up an intelligence. Close black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Aren't you calling anymore? Another 7 hours passed. It was getting late at this time. The pirates of the Mammoth group next to them and the crew of the 4th Division have already decided the outcome. The two sides are close in strength. But because of Lin An's intensive training on weekdays, in the end, the crew of the 4th team were better. He looked at Jack lying on the ground in front of him. Lin An was speechless. Such a good, experienced baby, was used up by himself like this. How can it be? Chapter 16 Capture of the Three Plagues, Whitebeard's Appreciation. Advertise here. Chapter 16 Catch the Three Plagues, Whitebeard's Appreciation. Hear what Lin An said. Jack braced himself to stand up again. Although he stood up, after 14 hours of continuous fighting. Moreover, it is the physical battle that consumes the most physical strength, and Jack's physical strength has long been exhausted. At this time, his attack was extremely weak. Armament hockey can't be used either. The limp fist landed on Lin An's body, but he couldn't even make Lin An take a step back. Tisk. As early as 2 hours ago, Jack's offense only dropped one attribute. This time Jack's attack, it can't even drop attributes. Lin An looked at Jack slightly displeased. You're just a waste, so you have the nerve to call yourself a natural disaster. Listening to Lin An's words, Jack almost vomited blood from anger. But, he really has no strength left. Even if Lin An didn't fight back. He also shook his body. Bang. There was a muffled sound. It was the sound of Jack collapsing to the ground. Jack at this time, couldn't even move a finger. To this. Lin An shook his head with a displeased face. Is this the staying power? I can defeat you without fruit power. This staying power. Now Jack can't wait to squeeze out some energy from his body to punch Lin An again. That's 14 hours. Is what you said still human? It's you instead. How can one fight continuously for 14 hours, and still be able to survive the most physically consuming martial arts duel? As for the last sentence Lin An said, it really stimulated Jack. However, the physical exhaustion is really too serious. Nowadays, even the simplest action of opening the mouth cannot be done. Never mind. Useless guy. Lin An taunted Jack again. Seeing that Jack was really unable to get up and fight again, he took out the handcuffs specially prepared for Jack with seastone ingredients and handcuffed them directly on his hands with some regret. After a full 14 hours of sweeping wool, Lin An's strength has reached the level of the Queen's late-stage Diamond Chaozi. After confirming that Jack couldn't make any tricks, he turned around and looked at the members of the 4th team. Brothers, how is the harvest? At this time, the crew of the fourth team had already removed all the materials of the Mammoth Regiment. As one of the 3 signboards of Beast's Pirates, there are still many good things. Leaving aside ordinary money and food, there are also quite a few rare fixed pointers. Even, also found a devil fruit. It's just because no one else on board has seen the devil fruit illustrated book. So no one knows what devil fruit this devil fruit is. Devil fruit's words. Lin An is the acting captain of the fourth team. The fruit naturally arrived in his hands. Looking at the devil fruit in his hand, Lin An also showed doubts. Look to the first crew member to find the devil fruit. According to the rules, this devil fruit is yours. Eat it or take it out and sell it for money depends on your mood. Lin An didn't know whether the devil fruit obtained from the system would be regarded as having devil fruit in his body. If counted, if this devil fruit Lin An eats it, he will only be repelled by the power of the 2 devil fruits, and eventually blew himself up to death. This is something he absolutely does not want to see. After finally crossing over, it can be regarded as having a good time now. How can it be so easy to take a dog? And this devil fruit is still an unknown devil fruit, and no one knows whether this devil fruit is good or bad. Even if he wants to have a second devil fruit, he also wants Kizaru's sparkling fruit or Enel's thunder fruit. Although Logia said that because of the restraint of armament hockey in the follow-up. But its elementalization ability still exists almost like a bug. Shock fruit is the main attack. The fastest sparkling fruit or thunder fruit is the main move. This is the perfect fit for Lin An. I'd better eat it. The crew member looked at devil fruit. He hesitated and chose to eat it. Although the unknown devil fruit is said to be able to sell at least 200 million Baileys. However, money can be earned. But there are not many opportunities to enhance one's own strength. Vomiting sounded. Then, the crew member's body gradually changed. He turned into a kangaroo. It turned out to be the fruit of the zone mouse, in the form of a kangaroo. Seeing this, Lin An understood what kind of fruit this fruit was, and nodded. Zone is not bad either. Strength, speed, and defense are all improved in a balanced manner. Your strength has already taken a qualitative leap. Lin An rested the boat at sea for a few days. Helped the seriously injured out of danger, and settled the slightly injured. Only then did it start sailing in the direction of the Moby Dick. Jack of the Mammoth Corps was locked in the confinement room on the ship by him. As for the Mammoth Corps not dead, the remaining Lin An left them to fend for themselves. If you can survive without fresh water and food, then it's their fate. Moby Dick aboard. Lin An escorted Jack and pushed Jack in front of Whitebeard. Kick it out, kneeling him directly in front of Whitebeard. Father, fulfill your mission. Very. Whitebeard glanced at Jack. Then he looked deeply at Lin An. He watched the whole battle between Jack and Lin An. He knew very well that Lin An was using Jack to exercise himself. But, even so, he was still a little surprised by what was already in front of him and was a little overwhelmed. Very good. Whitebeard nodded. Stand up slowly. I'll go. Is it true or not? Compared to Whitebeard who knows the truth and pays attention all the time. Others went directly to Sparta. They knew that Lin An was going to catch Jack. But, they couldn't think of anything. Lin An was able to capture Jack directly. The strongest vice captain. Lin An is the strongest vice captain of our Whitebeard Pirates. The strongest vice captain. Hearing this title, Chaozi on the side didn't take it seriously. That's true though, but Lin An is not just the strongest vice captain. His strength has already reached the level of the Emperor's deputy, which is also a high-level existence. If it is said that both sides have to face each other life and death. Joes himself didn't think he could beat Lin An for sure. Although he had thought about this sentence countless times in his heart. But this time it was different. Before, Lin An only had a 10-20% chance of winning. Now, Lin An has a 40% chance of winning with him. Ha ha ha, Jack, I didn't expect you, a rebellious guy, to be caught. Chapter 17 Whitebeard appreciates, Kaido angers. Advertise here. Chapter 17 Whitebeard appreciates, Kaido angers. There is a lot of friction between the 4 emperors. They also look down on each other. Jack's unruly attitude caused dissatisfaction among many people. Among them, of course, are the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates. Looking at Whitebeard and the captains under Whitebeard in front of him, Jack didn't panic. He knew very well that he would not be killed, otherwise Lin An would have done it directly at sea. The main reason for bringing him to the Moby Dick is to use him to gain more benefits from Kaido. And there is a lot of friction between the 4 emperors. There is also a tacit understanding between the middle and high levels of each other. Whitebeard if he dared to kill him. Then in the future, the Whitebeard Pirates and the Beast's Pirates will really be at the stage of life and death. No one can accept this situation. Looking at Whitebeard, Jack chose to continue to be tough. Kill me if you have the ability. However, next second, a ball of flames had already reached his feet. The temperature of the flames was extremely high. Even Jack, who was at the level of the Emperor's deputy, was burned instantly and his face was grim. Isn't it pretty tough just now? Margot's figure appeared behind Jack, looking at Jack with a kind expression on his face. But this kindness is really only superficial kindness. His phoenix flames burned Jack's body continuously at this moment. The hair is burned directly. There were also burns on the skin on his body. Pain, excruciating pain. Not long. There was even a smell of meat in Jack's direction. It is different from the meaty smell of land creatures. The meaty scent emanating from Jack's body carried a fresh scent of fish. Ah, after stiffening for 2 minutes. A howl of pain came out of Jack's mouth, and he finally couldn't help it. Good job. Margot is in the fire roasting stone Madara fish. P.S. Jack is a saddle stone Madara fish murloc. Whitebeard's eyes were on Lin An. For Lin An, the more he looks the more pleasing to the eye. He is very capable, and he is very kind to the people on board, and everyone admires Lin An's management. Now it is even more known that Lin An's fruit ability is actually the lower fruit of his own shock fruit. That is, Lin An has everything, whether it is character, ability, strength or mass base. This is simply Whitebeard's dream successor candidate. Thank you, Dad, for the compliment. Lin An also responded. The battle between him and Jack can be said to be completely dark. Both the video phone bug of the Whitebeard Pirates and the video phone bug of the Beast's Pirates have been affected. Whitebeard and Kaido only watched half of it, and they didn't know the whole picture of the battle. This is all well cultivated by my father. Good flattery, it's really fun to listen to. Whitebeard readily accepts Lin An's flattery. However, don't be so hypocritical next time. Speaking of which, Whitebeard changed the topic. Since you have the lower fruit of shock fruit, I am more familiar with it. Don't train the brothers below these days, just stay with me and let me help you develop devil fruit. Hearing what Whitebeard said, Lin An's eyes lit up. This is Whitebeard's upbringing, my own perception, plus the cheat of picking attributes. The development progress of shock fruit will definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Think here. Lin An resisted her excitement. Okay. Thank you, Dad, for nurturing. At the same time. On the other side of the sea, Wano-kuni. How long has it been? No news yet. Kaido was furious. Just start smashing things around. Jin and Quinn, who were on the side, dared not talk to each other, let alone other people. 3 days have passed. 3 days ago, the video phone bug was destroyed because of the battle between Lin An and Jack, and they couldn't get the situation on the scene. During these 3 days, Kaido spends all his resources looking at the fight between Lin An and Jack. Pity. The Whitebeard Pirates' blockade on this matter is extremely strict. Even the nails they drove into Whitebeard's sphere of influence couldn't get a glimpse of it. Report. Just at this time, several people were brought in from outside. Judging by the outfit, it is the remnant of Jack's mammoth regiment. These guys have been working without sleep for 3 days, and this is considered to be back. A member of the mammoth regiment. Seeing these people, Kaido had a relaxed expression on his face. At least, he can understand what is going on with this matter. Tell me, what was the result of that day, and how is Jack now? Governor, the thing is like this. The remnants of the mammoth regiment recounted the previous battle between Lin An and Jack. So, Jack was captured alive. Kaido had a look of disbelief on his face. He originally thought that the Whitebeard Pirates just dispatched a vice captain, and no matter how bad the situation was, Jack was beaten. Such things are already commonplace for Jack. A beating is a beating. Did not expect. He even lost himself. Oh shit. A curse. Kaido punched the surroundings. Even his favorite jug was smashed. This old thing actually hides such a killer move. With such a powerful strength, Lin An has obviously reached the level of a captain in the Whitebeard Pirates. Such a strong person is invisible in the Whitebeard pirate group. Kaido's first thought is Whitebeard's hidden ultimate move. Damn it, it's still tricked. As someone who worked with Whitebeard for a while, Kaido knows Whitebeard's character well. Bold, hockey, loving family, but very cautious. Newgate, I thought the Blackbeard incident was a harbinger of your decline. Didn't you think that it just tore the cloth in front of you? You old bastard is the same as that bastard Roger, can't you just die? Impotent rage. But there is nothing to do. With the news that the Mammoth group took Jack away alive. As time passed, the entire Beast's Pirates learned about it. There is such a thing. An important part of the Beast's Pirates warhead, the office of Fei Lubao. Foz Fur, who has the form of the zone ancient species saber-toothed tiger, was full of annoyance on his face. I said that Jack is unreliable, now he's fine, he was directly captured alive, is he ashamed? The current situation is very complicated. Not long after joining the Beast's Pirates, the former Marine Rear Admiral, one of the supernovas of the new era, Drake showed a look of hesitation on his face. Chapter 18 4 Emperor's Negotiations, Kaido admitted. Advertise here. Chapter 18 4 Emperor's Negotiations, Kaido admitted. It was different from the other 5 of the 6 flying cells. He is a newcomer, and he doesn't have much sense of belonging to the Beast's Pirates. Now that Jack is captured alive, he can be more rational. In my opinion, Since Jack was not directly killed, then Whitebeard's purpose is not just to revenge us. He probably wanted to take this opportunity to beat New World. Tell New World that although there are 4 Emperor-level powerhouses, there is only one king. On the sea, there have been only 2 One Piece kings since ancient times. One is Roger, who landed on the final island. The other is the uncrowned One Piece Whitebeard. So what? It's the face of the entire Beast's pirates. Whitebeard. The atmosphere of Fei Lubao has become extremely strange. There is dissatisfaction with Jack, and anger at Whitebeard. Revenge. Revenge. Fight the Whitebeard Pirates. Get back the place. This is the case for the high-level Flying Six in the Beast's Pirates, let alone other people in the Beast's Pirates. For a while, there's been a lot of talk about Whitebeard's fight and comeback. So, what is to be done now, Governor? Unlike the excitement of the Beast's Pirates' sphere of influence. After experiencing the initial anger, Kaido in the cave gradually calmed down. Of course I went to talk to that old guy about it. Moby Dick aboard. On this ship belonging to the King of the New World, another 4 emperors appeared at this time, Pirate Governor, Kaido. Whitebeard and Kaido sat in front of a table, the two looked at each other, and did not speak for a while. On Whitebeard's side, Marco, Jose, Lin An, and other team leaders were all present. There are also many strong players on Kaido's side. The Emperor's vice-level powerhouse, the second of the 3 major signs of the Beast's Pirates, the Flame Disaster, Jin and the Plague Disaster, Quinn stood at the front, and the 6 flying cells were slightly behind. The 2 sides are tit for tat, and no one is willing to obey the other's appearance. There is a big meaning of fighting if there is a disagreement. Newgate, what do you mean? The confrontation took some time. A look of displeasure appeared on Kaido's face. After all, this is Whitebeard's territory, and I came here to find Whitebeard to let Jack go. But, Kaido didn't intend to just give in. An invisible breath rose from his body. For a while, this powerful aura instantly spread to the entire Moby Dick. Boom, 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 boom. For a while, both the crew of the Whitebeard Pirates and the crew brought by Kaido collapsed without warning. It is Conqueror's Haki, and it is Conqueror's Haki of a very high level. Kaido's Conqueror's Haki is more or less affected even by the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates, the Big Kanban and the 6 flying cells of the Beast's Pirates. What do I mean? Whitebeard glanced around from the corner of his eye. There was a dissatisfied expression on his face. The same momentum rose from Whitebeard. For a moment, the 2 super tall, super strong Conqueror's Haki collided in midair. Boom. Thunder exploded on a sunny day. There was a loud bang. The clouds above the sky were actually shattered by the momentum at this moment. Within the range of Whitebeard and Kaido's imposing manner, there is no complete cloud, and they spread out like egg drop soup, and they cannot come back together again. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's Haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's Haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's Haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket you picked up. Close black lens bracket. See. Lin An stepped forward calmly. The confrontation between Whitebeard and Kaido actually allowed him to pick up 6 attributes at once. And, it's all a Conqueror's Haki experience. The Conqueror's perception experience of the 4 emperors has just been absorbed into his body. Lin An noticed the changes in her body. Just these 6 experiences directly transformed Lin An from no Conqueror's Haki to a Conqueror's Haki proficient user. As expected of a strong attribute at the 4 emperors level. Single quote. Feel the change in yourself. Lin An looked happy. He's looking forward to Whitebeard and Kaido fighting now. So, even taking advantage of this opportunity to increase his strength again, it is not impossible for him to surpass Jose in one leap and become a high-ranking emperor's assistant. Unfortunately, there is a great connection between the 4 emperors and the 4 emperors. Even if Whitebeard has Jack in his hand now, Kaido will definitely bow his head in front of Whitebeard. This kind of direct confrontation between the 4 emperors is also unlikely to happen. It's so boring. After the duel, the 2 sides were tied, and it was impossible for anyone to do anything to the other in a short period of time. Total war is also not realistic. Instead of continuing to play Tai Chi, it is better to have a showdown. Whitebeard looked at Kaido and said again, I know you are here to rescue Jack. In that case, I won't go around with you anymore. 2 billion, as long as there are 2 billion Bailey, I will let him go, how about it? You are robbing. Kaido is furious. Jack's bounty was 1 billion Baileys, and now he asked for twice the amount of the bounty, so it's not an exaggeration to call it robbery. If that's the case, then there's nothing to talk about. Whitebeard didn't want to get too involved with Kaido. The expression already has the meaning of seeing off the guests. Although it sounds unrealistic to say that pirates catch pirates and send them to Marine in exchange for bounties. However, they also have their own means to get this bounty into their own hands. Not to mention, Whitebeard. Whitebeard looked at Kaido, the expression on his face remained calm. Either pay the money, or just leave. Speaking of which, Whitebeard had a trademark grin on his face. By the way, you can also choose to go to war with me. I can assure you that I will guarantee Jack's life safety before you and my pirate group completely decide the outcome. Who wants to fight, you old bastard? Jack nearly got blown up. He really wants to go straight to Whitebeard right now. But how is this possible? Even if Whitebeard is really old and frail now, how could he be Whitebeard's opponent? Good, very good. Kaido looked deeply at Whitebeard. There was a displeased expression on his face. However, not directly turning his face also represents Kaido's meaning. Even if Kaido dispatched a powerhouse of the Emperor's deputy level to test Whitebeard's bottom line, he didn't want to really fight Whitebeard. Kaido stared at Whitebeard in front of him. Anger and dissatisfaction were written all over his face. Newgate, you are extorting. Chapter 19 Kaido admits defeat, Lin An becomes stronger again. Advertise here. Chapter 19 Kaido admits defeat, Lin An becomes stronger again. Blackmail. When you tested me with someone at the level of the Deputy Emperor, you never thought that I would be angry. Listening to Kaido's words, Whitebeard laughed heartily. Gu la la la. After laughing, Whitebeard looked at Kaido. No, Kaido. You are wrong. I am not blackmailing, but threatening. Jack's 1 billion is what I should get. And the remaining 1 billion is the effect that Jack's being in Marine's hands will have on you beasts pirates. Speaking of which, Whitebeard paused. Only when Kaido could hardly bear it could he speak again. Of course, you can ignore it. New, cover, special. Kaido paused every word, and looked at Whitebeard through gritted teeth. But, Kaido's anger obviously didn't make Whitebeard react. Good, very good. Go get the money. Kaido relented. It won't work if you don't accept softness. Marine has always been eager to move to New World, but recently there are faint signs of increasing troops to New World. If Jack is really in Marine's hands, Marine is likely to use Jack to attack the beast's pirates. Once that time comes, if Kaido declares war on Marine, he will directly confront Marine's main force. If war is not declared, the reputation of the beast's pirates will be wiped out, and his Kaido's credit will be directly bankrupt. Whether he takes the move and goes to full battle with Marine, or not, the beast's pirates will be infamous and the 4 emperors will lose their status. You old guy has hidden a lot of things, this time I admit it. Kaido looked at Whitebeard, the expression on his face gradually changing from anger to calm. However, I hope your Whitebeard pirates don't make any more trouble. 3 months have passed since Kaido and Whitebeard's 4 emperors talks. Kaido's confession didn't cause too much trouble. For the existence above the sea, both Marine and pirates have a very high evaluation of Whitebeard. Even the other 3 who are also 4 emperors, there is absolutely no way to compare with Whitebeard. Even if the Whitebeard pirates had a traitor, Whitebeard's status has not been shaken too much. The uncrowned king of the sea should be able to achieve this level. Wow, you're growing up a little too fast, aren't you? Moby Dick aboard. Lin An is fighting Margao. For 3 months, the sea was full of wind and clouds. Because of Blackbeard's betrayal, everyone has a prying heart about Whitebeard's status. But because Kaido stumbled, they suppressed the thoughts in their minds again. During these 3 months, Lin An followed Whitebeard, listened to Whitebeard's precepts and deeds, and the attribute picking sheet could pick up some devil fruit growth experience from Whitebeard from time to time, and gradually mastered the essence of shock fruit. Although it has not yet reached the level of fruit awakening, it has reached the level enough that no one dares to underestimate it. This ability, if there is only one devil fruit with the same ability on the sea, I really doubt that you also ate the shock fruit. Marger glanced at his right leg. Lin An's punch just now smashed it to pieces. Light blue flames burn. Margot's leg recovered. His eyes were on Lin An again. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. That's natural. Lin An picked up the attributes calmly. There was a serious expression on his face. This is the result of my father's precept and example for 3 months. But, even so, it shouldn't have become so strong. Margot was speechless for a while. Whitebeard's training is not uncommon in the Whitebeard Pirates. These team leaders have also eaten the small stove opened by Whitebeard. But, no one can reach the height of Lin An. 3 months. In just 3 months, Lin An's strength has grown to the peak of the Emperor's deputy. How much talent does this have to have? I'm afraid, the most talented person in the Whitebeard Pirates will be transferred from Ace to you in the future. That's not necessarily true. Lin An shook his head. Ace's understanding of life will be greatly improved after going through this incident. As long as Blackbeard is dealt with, his strength will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. During the conversation, cracks appeared on Lin An's hands. Before these cracks had time to spread out, they were compressed by Lin An onto his fist. This is the result of his 3 months of training under Whitebeard. Shock fruit compression. This shock fruit compression is not like a poor imitation of Lin An's gourd painting. Instead, you really get the true biography of Whitebeard's decades of experience in use. It can perfectly hide the shock fruit in the hand as a booster power, and it can also be released instantly when in contact with the enemy, so that the power of the shock fruit will not be consumed in midair, and it will directly act on the enemy's body. Advanced usage of this shock fruit. According to Whitebeard, even Admiral and even the 4 emperors would be fooled by his punch. Shock Crack. Shock fruit is condensed and completed. Lin An's eyes burst into light. The whole person quickly swept across the deck and came directly in front of Margao. The fist was aimed directly at Margao's head. Good guy. Facing an attack like Lin An, Margao had a serious look on his face, while accumulating the immortal fire in his body. While speaking again, you guys really want to kill me. Bang. Clash of fists. For a time, the sky fell apart. The sea screams. The crack that seems to tear the sky and the immortal fire that burns the earth spread wildly in all directions. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Lin An is picking up attributes. There was an indifferent expression on one side of his face. You can't die anyway. It's better to let me do it directly. Besides, my teaching policy is that I would rather kill my teammates by mistake than hold back. I, the Whitebeard Pirates instructor, must lead by example. Tisk. Margao clicked his tongue. The title, Whitebeard Pirate Instructor, was specially conferred by Whitebeard for Lin An after Kaido left the personnel and materials of the forces to which the regiment belongs. One is to reward Lin An for his contribution this time, and the other is that Lin An is indeed suitable for this title. Lin An and Margao exhausted their moves and separated quickly. It's really a strict instructor. Chapter 20 Sage recovers, Ace is captured. Advertise here. Chapter 20 Sage recovers, Ace gets caught. This is already the battle between the two who do not know how many times. Look at Margao. Lin An shook his head helplessly. I'm still weaker than you. You bastard. Listening to Lin An's slightly helpless sigh, Margot's mouth trembled slightly. 3 months. Just 3 months. Lin An has just reached the level of the Emperor's assistant and directly surpassed Josie, reaching the peak of the Emperor's assistant. There are vague signs that he is about to surpass him. Thinking of this, Margot's sense of crisis suddenly increased several levels. I swear in my heart that I must not be lazy these days and train hard. Even if he understands that Lin An's strength will surpass his own sooner or later, he must delay this time as much as possible. Everyone, you had a lot of fun. At this time, Sachi's voice sounded. Look in the direction of the sound. Thatch stepped out of the cabin in a wheelchair. Saki's body is intact, and he has not become a hero of Yongguo. This is all due to the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates ship doctor. Of course, even if Sachi's arm is reconnected, the flexibility will be greatly reduced. Don't think about fighting, at most you can eat and drink without being affected. Sage. Seeing Sachi come out, Lin An leaned forward. Signaling the nurse to leave, he pushed Sage's wheelchair. As the saying goes, it hurts the muscles and bones for 100 days. Not to mention that Saki was seriously injured, and his arm was cut off directly. Now his body has almost recovered. It's just that it will take a while to rest for a while before it can completely return to its normal appearance. You guys are not resting in the room, what are you doing running out? It's so boring. For Lin An's concern, Sachi was speechless. Blackbeard's betrayal had a great impact on him, but after 3 months, he also figured it out. You can't make all your friends look at his bad face just because of a person's betrayal, right? Staying in the ward all day except eating and sleeping, I'm almost like a pig. Thatch complained about his unfair treatment. I also know that patients should rest honestly, but is life in the ward a human life? Every day is porridge, not even a piece of meat. Not even alcohol. How can I bear this? Listen to Sachi's accusation. People around nodded their heads. Indeed, can a person live without meat? Wine is grain essence, the younger you drink, the younger you are. If you don't let people drink, isn't that killing people? Sachi's indictment quickly worked wonders. I saw his attending doctor slowly coming out of the cabin. Seeing Sage nodded. Very good. For the next half-month of treatment, you can only eat porridge and mustard. As for the nutrition your body needs, you can just supplement it with liquid food. By the way, you can't go out for a walk. Ah. Sak was dumbfounded. The people around immediately cheered. You are abusing patients. Don't think that I dare not hit you because you are a doctor. Oh, listen to the complaints of the crew of the Whitebeard Pirates. The doctor just nodded indifferently. I know all the people on our ship. Presumably, you will also be injured one day. Hee hee. Hee hee hee. The doctor's expression is very kind. The smile is also very kind. But I don't know why, I just feel a chill coming from behind. All the flags and drums died down. Look at the sky where dark clouds walk in the sky. The weather is nice today. Really, I want to sing a poem. Oh see, you are all water. For a while, the protests completely disappeared. No matter how embarrassing or blunt the turning point is, they don't care. The most important thing now is to change the topic. To know, they are pirates. Even the pirates of the 4 Emperors Regiment need to be ready for battle at all times. Injuries are a daily occurrence. It is obviously an unwise choice to offend the doctor. Hello. The doctor took Sage's wheelchair. At this moment, cold sweat dripped from Saki's forehead. The whole person showed a dazed and panicked expression. What's the situation? Doctor, I just came out. Didn't you say 2 days ago that I'm in very good condition now, and it's best to go out for 10 minutes to half an hour every day to blow air? Oh, the doctor responded to Sachi's words indifferently. Then push Sage to where the ward is. There were some mistakes in the previous inspection, and now you have to stay in the ward for a while. Obviously, this rest time is made up temporarily. The doctor himself thought for a while before speaking again. Take another year off. Why do you have to take a year off due to illness? To this, there was a look of despair on Sage's face. Doctor, you can't retaliate, I'm your patient. Shouldn't doctors take curing diseases and saving lives as their duty? Yes. The doctor had no intention of stopping. Then push Sage towards the direction of the ward. I'm here for your own good. You have to know that not only did you suffer severe abdominal trauma and 5 internal organs, but you also suffered an injury that directly broke your arm. How can you not rest well with such a serious injury? In case you really become disabled because of my sloppy, dad blames it, do you think I can bear it? And, am I not doing this for your own good? Doctor. I was wrong, let me go, what I said just now was just complaining. Bang. There was a sound of closing the door. Thatch's voice could no longer be heard. Although everyone knows that the doctor is just joking with Sage. Still, he wiped the sweat off his brow. Sure enough, you can't mess with the doctor if you mess with anyone. Even if it's not intentional revenge, you can make a lot of articles just because it's good for your body. The Whitebeard pirate group was quiet and peaceful, and even because of Lin An's performance, the entire Whitebeard sphere of influence was quiet and peaceful for a long time. But this does not represent the status quo in the world. Grand Line, there are several figures on the Banaro Islands. Blackbeard Teach's face was gloomy, and behind him lay a person. Who else could it be if not Ace? This Teach originally concealed his strength, and his own strength surpassed that of an ordinary emperor's deputy. At this moment, he got dark fruit again, and Blackbeard also has a few powerful partners newly recruited by Blackbeard. It was completely impossible for Ace to catch Blackbeard. Since you don't want to be my partner. Blackbeard spoke. A sinister expression gradually appeared on his face. Then, of course you don't mind if I exchange you for some benefits. Captain Ace. Chapter 21 Blackbeard's Crazy Deal, Ace Lost Contact. Advertise here. Chapter 21 Blackbeard's Crazy Deal, Ace Lost Contact. Ace, who had no combat power at all, braced himself and slowly got up. Looking at Blackbeard with serious eyes. You bastard, what do you want to do? Ace really can't think of what Blackbeard can do to himself. What do you want to do? A maniac grin appeared on Blackbeard's face. Of course I want to send you to Marine. Marine. Ace was dumbfounded when he heard Blackbeard's words. Although he is said to be a pirate, and has a bounty of 550 million. However, Blackbeard is also a pirate. If he wants to send himself to Marine, isn't he afraid that Marine will arrest him directly? Look at the puzzled look on Ace's face. Blackbeard even laughed out loud. With a hint, he said, Captain Ace, you must have forgotten that there is a legal pirate organization called Shichibukai in this world, right? Hearing Blackbeard's words, Ace showed panic on his face. Are you planning to trade me for Shichibukai's position, and then use Marine's protection to avoid being hunted down by Dad? Look at Ace's appearance. Blackbeard shook his head slightly. It seems. Sure enough, his own ideas are still not understood by the public. At this time, a figure suddenly appeared in his mind. The kid from East Blue with the straw hat on. That's not all I have in mind. Blackbeard threw his head back. Poison Q. Van Oka understood Blackbeard's thoughts and hurried to Ace. Seastone's handcuffs were shackled on Ace's arm. The Logia Fruit ability user is extremely terrifying. If Ace is recovered, it is not realistic for Blackbeard to catch Ace again with Ace's speed. Feeling that his ability was sealed, Ace's first thought was to commit suicide. Although he doesn't know what medicine is sold in Blackbeard's gourd, he is well aware of how much impact he will have on the Whitebeard Pirates if he falls into Marine's hands. Now only his own death is the greatest repayment to Whitebeard. Ace is not an indecisive person, nor is he a person who is greedy for life and afraid of death. Think about it and do it. One mouth. Tongue sticks out fully. It's about to bite off. Captain Ace, do you think I'll let you die? Blackbeard's hand shoved directly into Ace's mouth. The pain of being bitten by Ace didn't change Blackbeard's expression one bit. A piece of cloth was torn apart by Blackbeard, balled up and stuffed into Ace's mouth. With all this done, Blackbeard kicked Ace aside. Ace, who lost his fruit ability, tilted his head and passed out. You said, if Whitebeard died, would the pattern of New World change? Poison Q at the side was taken aback by Blackbeard's words. Before Poison Q could respond, Blackbeard spoke again. What I want is to become one piece. Listening to Blackbeard's words, Poison Q showed doubts on his face, followed by surprise and madness. You could tell he was very happy with Blackbeard's crazy idea. He was on the Blackbeard ship because he admired Blackbeard's madness. Ignoring Poison Q's thoughts, Blackbeard's face looked towards the sea, which was the direction of the Whitebeard Pirates. Father, I'm also your child. As a child, I want some toys from my parents. You shouldn't refuse them, right? You are old too, and those you know are waiting for you below. The Whitebeard Pirates, aboard the Moby Dick. Whitebeard has been in a trance for more than half a month. Father, what's the matter with you? Margaret had already discovered it. It's just that due to his identity, he has been afraid to speak. However, Whitebeard's current state has lasted for half a month. Out of worry, he finally couldn't hold back. If you're not feeling well, how about having a doctor take a look? No problem. Whitebeard took a deep breath. The frown did not relax because of this. His mind was still heavy. He glanced at Margao and said, actually, it's because of Ace. Whitebeard then revealed his agreement with Ace. That is regular communication, reporting status and safety. This is a rule that both pirates and marines have. The purpose is to ensure the sharing of information and situations, and to avoid the situation of being attacked by the enemy or being unable to rescue on time due to unequal information. At first, Ace was able to call him every 3 to 5 days. But the last communication was a month ago. I'm concerned about Ace's safety right now. Whitebeard spoke again. The image of Blackbeard came to mind. Blackbeard's strength is not bad, and he also has the bonus of the mysterious fruit that is enough to make him betray our pirate group. Ace may be difficult to deal with him. It turned out to be worried about Ace. Margao, Chaozi, Lin An and others breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Whitebeard's body isn't in danger, it shouldn't be a big deal. Father, your worries are completely unnecessary. Margar looked at Whitebeard, a look of relief on his face. Ace is the #1 talent and potential of our Whitebeard Pirates. Having said that, Margao glanced at Lin An. The existence with the second highest talent and potential, and Dad, you specially built his own exclusive sea tools for him. Even if there is a chance, if Ace can't beat Blackbeard, he can escape quickly, can't he? Makes sense. Whitebeard nodded. However, there was still a worried expression on his face, and he said meaningfully, I'm still worried about his safety. At this time, Lin An spoke again after a little thought. Ace is indeed reckless, it is indeed too dangerous to go alone. Since Dad is worried, then I will lead the members of the 4th team to the Grand Line to find it. Whitebeard looked up at Lin An. Whitebeard is assured of Lin An's strength. There are not many people in New World who can pose a threat to him, let alone the Grand Line this time. For Lin An, this time is a trial of sailing and commanding on the sea. Although Lin An said that he has a good status in the Whitebeard Pirates, but because he has always been the deputy captain, he has no experience in commanding and sailing alone. Whitebeard has already determined that Lin An is his successor, and independent command and sea navigation experience are necessary. Now this is a good trial opportunity, and it is not a life-threatening trial opportunity. For Lin An's first, it couldn't be more appropriate to lead the army to sail for the first time. After a little thought, Whitebeard nodded. All right. Chapter 22 The Celestial Dragons were attacked and landed on the island of Saadi. Advertise here. Chapter 22 The Celestial Dragons were attacked and landed on the island of Saadi. Looking at Lin An, Whitebeard spoke again. This can also be regarded as adding some experience to your search and sea exploration. Being able to check Ace's safety by the way can be said to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Talking. Whitebeard stood up. Activate the captain's order. Order the instructor of the Whitebeard Pirates, and Lin An, the acting captain of the 4th Division, to lead the entire 4th Division to the Grand Line to find the trace of the 2nd Division Captain Ace. Decree. Lin An took the order and left the Moby Dick directly. Lead the 4th Division to the Grand Line. Lin An instructor, where are we going to find Captain Ace? Lin An is now the acting captain, but his true identity is still the vice captain. Everyone took Lin An's new title, instructor, as the main title. I've thought about this for a long time. In this regard, Lin An also made some plans. After a little thought, he spoke again. Saadi Archipelago. Saadi Archipelago, the closest island to Mariajoy, the holy place where celestial dragons live. Similarly, it is also near the marine base. It is no exaggeration to say that it is the center of the world. As the center of the world, dragons and snakes are mixed on the Saadi Archipelago, and the news is the most accurate. Ace, as the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, is one of the world's highlights. If there is news about Ace, Saadi Archipelago must have it immediately. The Saadi Archipelago is below the red line. Although it is said that it is very close to New World, theoretically there is only a separation of a wall. But it is not easy to cross the red line between New World and Grand Line. Generally speaking, there are only 2 kinds. One is through the Holy Mariajoy. Let alone Lin An, even people from the world government need to report to celestial dragons in advance if they want to pass. Not to mention a pirate like Lin An. The remaining road is the Fishmen Island. These are islands and kingdoms at a depth of 10,000 meters under the sea. Fortunately, this place is now sheltered by the Whitebeard Pirates. Apart from worrying about not being attacked by creatures on the bottom of the sea, there is no need to think too much. Sailing for a long time, Lin An finally led the crew of Division 4 to Saadi Archipelago. Looking at the crowd in a hurry around. Lin An sensed that the atmosphere was not good. What happened here? What happened? People passing by took a look at Lin An with angry expressions on their faces. However, his anger was obviously not directed at Lin An. I don't know which bastard hit celestial dragons, it's just unreasonable. I heard that the celestial dragons have sent Marine Admiral to capture them. The Saadi archipelago is about to be completely chaotic. You also hurry up and leave, or find a place to hide. ... You are the master of the straw hat, you are really fierce. Luo looked at Luffy beside him with a slightly interested expression on his face. It's just a fool, the kid on the side complained. In this regard, Luffy has no doubts. If he dares to touch my companion, then I should beat him up. The mangrove tree number 1 was taken care of by Marine because of the confusion. Coupled with the recent news that 11 supernovas are about to land on the island at the same time, Marine is even more focused on ambush. Just as the 3 of them walked out of the auction house, they were surrounded by countless Marines. ... Damn it, what is this guy doing? In a tavern, a cute-looking girl was eating and drinking. There was an angry expression on his face. Going to touch celestial dragons, is he crazy? This person is none other than Bonnie, one of the supernovas. Interesting. A quiet place. A man is playing with cards. After listening to his subordinate's report, his hand paused. There was a look of surprise on his expressionless face. Did you beat the celestial dragons? This guy is really crazy enough. Nice job. Yoroj laughed out loud. There's nothing wrong with us being called the worst generation. This is such a big news when it just arrived at the Saadi archipelago. If we really put us in New World to grow for a period of time, maybe the next One Piece will really be born. ... Naval headquarters. Sengoku was speechless. So, what's going on here? He had just accepted Blackbeard's surrender and was planning to use the ace thing to hype him up. Before the matter started, I received the matter from Saadi archipelago. Saadi archipelago is the only way to go to the New World. It was supposed to be a mess. He wasn't going to bother. But, this time it was the celestial dragons who did not die. These pigs. Sengoku cursed inwardly. Didn't I tell them that I was going to scam that old guy Whitebeard out of New World at naval headquarters recently? Why are they still going out to cause trouble? Although I don't know what's going on. But according to the urine nature of celestial dragons, he didn't even need to think about it, he knew it was celestial dragons who caused the trouble. It's like this. After listening to what happened, Sengoku turned his gaze and landed on Garp beside him. Garp, I remember this Straw Hat kid is your grandson, right? Garp's status in Marine is beyond doubt. His movements are almost limitless, and even Sengoku, the Marine Marshal, is not qualified to command Garp unless Kong, the Commander-in-Chief, gives orders. With such a great privilege, it is natural to be given special attention. The fact that Luffy is Garp's grandson isn't a big secret among Marine executives. Ha ha ha. Listening to Sengoku's words, Garp laughed. Far from being frightened by Sengoku's anger, there was even a look of relief on his face. Laozi has long been dissatisfied with those bubble people, but he has never dared to make a move. This kid is braver than me. It's a bit like his grandfather when he was young. Roll. For this old friend, Sengoku also has no good way to deal with it. The line of sight can only be turned to those Marine executives. Although we should not be distracted now, but after all, celestial dragons had an accident, and we still have to take action. Talking. Sengoku's eyes fixed on Kizaru's body. Kizaru, it's up to you to handle this time. To make a scene that satisfies the celestial dragons, understand? It's so troublesome. Kizaru buttoned his ears in a yellow and brown striped suit. He said it was troublesome, but he stood up. If that's the case, then I'll take a trip. ... So, is it a confrontation between Marine and Pirate? On Saadi archipelago, Lin An's eyes lit up. If that's the case, I'm interested. Chapter 23 Change Strategy and Sneak into Marine. Advertise here. Chapter 23 Change Strategy, Sneak into Marine. Over the past 3 years, Lin An has developed a habit of joining the crowd. The more lively the place is, the better the attributes will be picked up. Especially, it was Luffy who caused the trouble this time. Although Lin An only watched more than 200 episodes of One Piece, he didn't even finish watching the most lively part of the Water City chapter. However, through the analysis of my previous experience in novels, animation, film and television, etc., things must be going on around the main character. In addition to One Piece itself, the East Blue chapter, the Azoxton chapter, etc. Luffy's experience can also be understood. This is not a quiet master, and every time the trouble is caused, it will only get bigger and bigger. This is definitely a good opportunity for a breakthrough in strength. In the past 3 months, Lin An has reached the pinnacle of Wangfu. If you add the attributes in a big event, then breaking through to the Admiral level is not completely unimaginable. Thinking of this, Lin An turned his head and looked at the crew members of the 4th Division behind him. It seems that Saadi archipelago is not very peaceful. I'll go and investigate what's going on first, and you all go back to the boat and prepare to leave at any time. Hear Lin An's arrangement. Everyone is dumbfounded. Instructor. Isn't it safer for everyone to act together? No. Lin An shook his head. If it's just for investigation, of course, the fewer the number of people, the better. Everyone obey orders. Hearing Lin An's words, everyone straightened their backs. Now go back to the boat immediately, and sail away as soon as you find Marine. At the same time, make sure that the phone bug is unblocked, and I will contact you. Lin An insisted on going his own way. Although the others were worried about Lin An's safety, they could only obey orders. Soon, the members of the fourth team returned to the boat again, and sailed away from the Saadi archipelago. Now, Lin An looked around. Marine shuttles through the streets and alleys from time to time. It only took Lin An 10 minutes to give orders to the crew of the 4th Division. The situation has become a little more serious again. Looking at the current state of Marine, I am afraid that a thorough investigation of the entire island will be carried out. Celestial dragons. Lin An thought for a while. Already figured out the answer. Although I haven't seen it yet, it already makes me sick. Lin An didn't know what the celestial dragons were doing. But judging from the information that if you get hit here, you will search the entire island. The status of celestial dragons even exceeds that of the ancient Oriental royal families and Western royal families. Saadi archipelago is already in a place where Marine and pirates have serious friction because of the road leading to New World and next to naval headquarters. On weekdays, some human trafficking matters will not be dispatched to arrest people. Now it's just that the celestial dragons were beaten, and so many Marines were sent out before they were killed. It is enough to see how outrageous the privilege of celestial dragons is. Lin An walks in alleys and alleys. His purpose is simple. That's to get information, so I know where to find Luffy. As the protagonist, it is definitely the center of things, and there will be more attributes dropped. Hello. At this time, a person stopped Lin An. Regarding this, Lin An turned her head innocently. This is a Marine. He looked like he was only in his 20s. Master, what's the matter? Don't you know that the entire island is now sealed off for search? Marine walked quickly to Lin An's side. He looked at Lin An with some scrutiny. Still hanging out in this situation, are you a pirate? Seemingly concerned and inquiring, but Marine's demeanor and gestures represented what he really wanted to do. Ask for money. Lin An looked around for a while. Sure enough, no one else was found. This Marine is really rotten, even worse than pirates. Single quote. A young Marine in his 20s, if not just enlisted, definitely has not served for a long time. Such a person should be filled with idealism and a sense of justice. But, he is not like that. Even blackmailing the people has become very skilled. Master. Lin An stretched out her hand to her bosom. I took out a stack of Baileys, about 10,000 or so. Slowly approaching Marine. You see. Good. Marine held out his hand to take it. A satisfied expression appeared on his face. There's a lot of danger on the Saadi archipelago right now. All 11 supernovas were there, and some played celestial dragons. If you say there is no safe place to go, or you can't go home because of the blockade, follow me too. It can be heard from Marine's words. He is not taking money to leave, but taking money to do things. I plan to find a place for Lin An that won't be disturbed or affected by fighting. But, next second, the Marine has fallen to the ground. Although on the surface nothing seems to be wrong. But the internal organs have been crushed by shock fruit. It seems that it's not bad for me to wear a Marine uniform. Lin An dragged the Marine to the depths of the alley and threw it into the garbage dump. The clothes on his body were taken off by Lin An and put on. As the saying goes, the most dangerous place is the safest place. Lin An just wanted information. Then being in the Marine is the best camouflage. Check out the Marine's clothes. Marine stationed in Saadi archipelago, the 3rd team. Remember your Marine number. Lin An ran to the street again. In order to avoid being discovered by other members of the 3rd team, and to expose it. Lin An walked out of several trees one after another, and then stopped to join the search team. Hello, bro. Lin An found a Marine who was alone and joined him. What's wrong? Seeing Lin An's uniform, the Marine let down his vigilance. Is this true or false? That's celestial dragons. Is there really anyone in this world who dares to fight celestial dragons? Listen to Lin An's question. The Marine was also speechless. That's what it says. This bastard is really annoying. If it wasn't for him, I should be dating my girlfriend by now, and now it's all over. Relax and relax. Lin An patted the Marine on the shoulder. This is also a good time to earn military merit. We exchanged pleasantries for a while. Lin An has been thoroughly acquainted with this Marine. Only at this time did he pretend to be casual and said, tell me, where is that Luffy now? Have you been arrested? It's at Tree 1. Marine quickly shared the information he knew. I haven't been caught yet. After all, I am a supernova, and I still have strength. It's said, I don't know if it's true or not. Marine looked at Lin An with a mysterious expression. Straw Hat Kid, Luffy D. Luffy, Death Surgeon, Trafalgar Law and Captain Eustace Kid are together, and the thousands of Marines around them can't do anything about them. Chapter 24 Admiral is coming. Start picking properties. Advertise here. Chapter 24 Admiral is coming. Start picking properties. No way. Lin An showed a surprised expression on purpose. Thousands of Marines can't do anything to them. It is true. The Marine nodded seriously. But they don't have to be arrogant for too long. Kizaru Admiral is coming soon. These supernovas will have to be caught by then. Really? Lin An nodded. Admiral is not something this group of supernovas can handle. We're just fishing here and waiting to see a good show. Hey, Marine stopped Lin An, with a smile that you know. What is fishing? We call it waiting for support. Yes, waiting for support. Lin An responded. After another walk with this Marine, Lin An broke away from the island's patrol again. Quickly go to tree number 1. Boom. Just arrived at tree number 1. Lin An hasn't asked Luffy where they are yet. The loud noise had already told Lin An. Get to the scene quickly. The Marine was right. At this time, thousands of Marines gathered on the battlefield. However, they were overwhelmed by Luffy, Luo and Kid. Get closer. Lin An looked at the dozens of properties on the ground, almost drooling. For justice, brothers, go. To this. Lin An raised the Marine saber in his hand. He rushed up directly. Others are a little confused, so they don't know why Lin An is so active. However, Lin An's leading work also had an effect. Soon, dozens of people followed Lin An and rushed up. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket you picked up. Close black lens bracket. Quickly. He has picked up more than a dozen attribute clusters that fell on the ground. Room. At this moment, a voice sounded. Immediately afterwards, a range of fields unfolded, directly enveloping Lin An in it. What's this? Lin An looked puzzled. Looked to the center of the field. Luo had already pulled out the knife from his hand. Although it is not clear what Luo is going to do. But Lin An knows that it is best not to enter such things as the field. From the corner of the eye, he glanced at the surrounding Marine. Lin An quickly ran towards the periphery of the field. Cut. Just after Lin An left Luo's domain space, Luo's voice sounded again. Look back again. The Marines who had just charged with Lin An had already separated their hands and feet. What is very strange is that they did not die in this state, and they can even move their hands and feet. Only, their bodies have been randomly spliced onto other people by Luo, even on wooden barrels and stones. Is it this type of devil fruit? Lin An showed doubts, and gradually understood Luo's fruit ability. Come on. Just at this time, another wave of Marine charges forward again. This time it's Kid to deal with. Come on. Brothers, kill. Lin An glanced at Luo. Then he rushed up. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket you picked up. Close black lens bracket. Lin An followed at the end of the team and got more than a dozen attributes. Just you guys want to do something to me. Kid's haughty voice sounded. Directly develop the ability. Launched with Kid's magnetic fruit. Quickly, all iron-containing substances within a range of hundreds of meters were sucked by Kid to his right hand. Even the saber in Lin An's hand was affected. Instinctively want to hurry up. But from the corner of his eye, he saw that the surrounding Marine weapons were being sucked away, so he simply let go. Magnetism reflection. Kid's voice sounded again. The iron objects that have just been attracted are completely released. Guns, knives, and other things that contain metal are all returned directly with the Kid's ability to be repelled. This moment, it was as crazy as if there was a rain of swords in the sky. Ah, what kind of terrifying ability is this? For a moment, painful wailing sounded. Many Marines around were injured as a result. Even a few unlucky ones were directly hit to the vitals and died on the spot. Lin An dodged away. Take it with you. He took another saber in his hand. The figure swayed and hid in the Marine again. His eyes were on the 3 supernovas. In terms of strength, it is just so-so. Although it is said that they are all strong with over 100 million. But if you put it in the New World, it is really an average level. But they also have an aura that most New World pirates don't have. That is vitality. That's right, energetic. That kind of imposing manner that I am invincible, although it means that some newborn calves are not afraid of tigers is in it. But this is also a necessary character to grow into a truly strong person. It seems that these supernovas are still of a certain standard. Lin An gave comments to Luffy et al. Although they are now far below New World's average level in terms of strength. But it is only slightly weaker in strength. Giving them room to develop may not necessarily fail to reach a very high level. Think here. Lin An looked in Luffy's direction. Especially Luffy. This guy is the protagonist. If there is no special interference, he will definitely grow into the world's strongest, the next generation of One Piece. Having said that, but it's not your time yet. Muttering to himself, Lin An followed the Marines and rushed up again. This time, Lin An rushed in the direction of Luffy. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up. Close black lens bracket. Another 10 points of attributes are in hand. Under Luffy and the three of them, it is easy to pick up Devil Fruit's growth experience. Pick up these 3 waves of attributes. Lin An's perception of shock fruit has changed again. Those Whitebeard told him that they knew it was useful, but things that they couldn't understand for a while were suddenly enlightened. Rubber, giant pistol. Luffy's angry voice sounded. Immediately afterwards, a huge fist struck in Lin An's direction. Under the color perception of knowledge, Lin An dodged the blow. But other Marines were not so lucky. The Marines standing in this direction seemed to be pushed over by a bulldozer, and they were blown away one after another. In this regard, Lin An's nature is lacking. His eyes fell on Luo's side again. More than a dozen clusters of attributes piled up under his feet again. A little perception of their own strength. The corner of Lin An's mouth couldn't help showing a smile. Not bad. According to the accumulation speed of this attribute, I can reach the Admiral level this time. Chapter 25 Marine is destroyed. Kizaru lands on the island. Advertise here. Chapter 25 Marine is destroyed. Kizaru lands on the island. Lin An looked at Luffy, Luo and Kid with a smile on his face. The title of supernova is not unique to Luffy. Every year there are pirates with a bounty of over 100 million, and these pirates with a bounty of over 100 million are supernovas. Only, they are different from Luffy. Luffy is the supernova of the worst era. The same is true for Luo and Kid, and being a member of the worst era also has its own uniqueness. This dropped attribute is also worthy of their identity. Although in terms of quality, Lin An, who is used to accepting the attributes of the Emperor's assistant level, is already a bit contemptuous. But the key is that they have managed to drop a dozen or so attributes every once in a while, which is a big deal. How can it be so strong? The successive heavy injuries caused the Marines to fall into a situation of self-doubt, and they were completely stunned. This is the Saadi archipelago. The Marine here can be said to be the Marine with the highest frequency of supernovae. However, even so they have never seen such a fierce one. Although the supernovas they encountered in the past were also very strong, they could be suppressed in terms of numbers. But Luffy, Luo and Kid are completely different. They both have a large area of attack. Not only was the crowd tactics not very useful to them, it even caused their own losses to be even greater. After several rounds of attacks, the Luffy trio suffered no apparent injuries. On the contrary, Marine lost almost half of its people. For the glory of Marine, for justice. At this time, the commander in charge of this group of Marines, a Marine Rear Admiral, finally couldn't sit still. He pulled out the western sword at his waist and pointed it directly in the direction of the three of Luffy. Follow me. With Rear Admiral leading the way, the Marines, who had already been beaten and lost their morale, cheered up again. This group of Marines intends to make a direct attack. Achievement. If it doesn't work, then they don't think so much. Tisk tisk. To this, Lin An secretly clicked his tongue. According to Lin An's own strength, there are 8 levels in total. 10 million level, Rear Admiral, Supernova, Vice Admiral, Emperor Vice, Admiral, 4 Emperors and 1 Piece. It's just Rear Admiral, even the elite Rear Admiral of Naval Headquarters can't be the opponent of Supernova. Not to mention that there is only 1 Rear Admiral, and the opponent is still 3 Supernovas. Ah, painful wailing sounded. The Marine Rear Admiral had already been stabbed with the knife that belonged to him. The body was also cut into countless pieces. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. As Lin An thought before. As soon as the Marine Rear Admiral entered the encirclement of the Luffy 3, they were jointly defeated by the Luffy 3. The other Marines also gradually lost. Pity. Watch the dwindling Marine. Lin An shook his head secretly. There was a little pity in his eyes. If only relying on these Marines, Luffy and others to fight this time, he still can't reach Admiral's level. Never mind. For strength, Lin An was not too pushy. Cheat in hand. Sooner or later, he will become the #1 powerhouse in this world. Instead of being invincible directly, it is more interesting to become stronger and still be able to fight against the strong. Thoughts ran through my mind. Lin An also rushed up. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. I picked up several attributes in succession. At this time, there are not many Marines around the 3 of Luffy. Saadi archipelago on the sea. A warship from far to near. Gradually, all warships appeared above the horizon. This time, in order to save face for celestial dragons, Marine not only sent Kizaru Admiral, but even arranged 20 warships at the same time. It's so troublesome. Kizaru stands above the flagship. He looked down at the watch phone bug in his hand. Trouble has to be done, and this is about celestial dragons. At this time, a fat man with a tomahawk walked up to Kizaru. He wasn't in awe of Kizaru just because he was Admiral. On the contrary, there is a different kind of intimacy. Also, don't confuse the phone bug with the watch phone bug this time. Senmomomaru moved closer to Kizaru. Carefully distinguish the few things on Kizaru for Kizaru. What you are looking at now is a watch phone bug, which is to check the time. The one in your arms is the phone bug for communication. If I'm looking for you, you have to look at the phone bug in your arms. Do you understand, old man? Listening to Zan Momomaru's words, Kizaru touched his head with a headache. Is it so troublesome? Can't they put their functions together? As Marine marches, the 20 ships did not stop in one place, but spread out directly. Every ship is about the same distance apart. Gradually, 20 ships formed a circle. Marine's purpose turned out to be to directly seal off the entire island. Or, just implement Buster Call directly. At this time, Kizaru looked at Saadi archipelago. He still found it troublesome and didn't want to go to the island to fight. Anyway, I have authority. The current boat is enough. Buster Call is a brutal and inhumane incineration attack consisting of 10 ships and an elite force of 5 vice admirals and marines. The marine led by Kizaru can even launch 2 Buster Calls at the same time. Cannot be done. The celestial dragons are still on the island, and there are 3 of them. To this, Zan Taowen directly denied it. The reason for his denial is not that Buster Call was a bad choice. The Saadi archipelago is itself a place of chaos. Now there are as many as 11 supernovas on the island. If you can launch Buster Call, it is really a good choice. Pity. Does not. If it hurts the celestial dragons. Not to mention Kizaru, even the world government will be implicated. Grandpa, the purpose of our visit this time is to avenge the celestial dragons, not kill them, understand? Why? To this, Kizaru sighed. The expression on his face didn't change at all, but he could see his helplessness. It's so troublesome. You blocked the Saadi archipelago as planned. I'll go to the island to have a look first. Talking. A golden light flashed around Kizaru. The whole person has disappeared into the field of vision. Master, hurry up. Seeing the direction Kizaru left, Senmomaru looked helpless. As someone who has worked with Vegapunk for a long time, Senmomaru has a full knowledge and understanding of Kizaru. Why? I knew it was not a pleasant thing to come out with the old man.